All right, folks. Welcome back. It's Thursday night, and we are Old Dominion heroes playing a homebrew campaign I have lovingly named Baba Yaga's Revenge. I'll let the players give a little bit about themselves real quick. We're going to keep it brief so we can get right into the action. And I'll give a little bit of a recap just so that we can set ourselves back in the scene. So let's go ahead and go around robin. I'm going to start with Jaren. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm Jason. I play Jaren, the demon-possessed paladin that is hell-bent, quite literally, on finding his long-lost sister now that he's discovered that she's alive. And to do that, he has to go track down Baba Yaga. And that's why he's made his pact with Glazit. So it should be interesting to see how that relationship develops.
All right, who wants to go next? What about you, Venlee?
Venlee, Bonk, Pet Unicorn.
Nice. I dig it.
That's
And
it.
Mel, what do you got?
I am playing Mel Blanc the Unlikely, gnome kind of illusionist whose mind was broken by the Feywild at some point. He does not know where he is or why he's there, but you know, he's game for it. And also, just in reference to how you open this thing, revenge is best served lovingly.
Nice. All
That
right.
was creepy, the way you said that, dude, just so you know. Like,
Revenge is
Harvey, what you got for us, buddy?
I'm also Jason. I play Harvey Birdman, Eric Walker, and Ranger Monk. Fun fact about Harvey. Harvey uses an axe most of the time. He's actually named this axe.
You're a little quiet there, Jason.
The name
course
of
he is.
Harvey's axe is my axe,
Nice.
which is spelled M-O-I dash A-C-K-S.
Dig it.
And his accent
Harvey.
changes. All the time.
Changes all the time. All the time. All the time?
Oh gosh, is that a throwback to Valen?
I don't know.
it needs to come out.
Right. All right. Happy, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Happy is a gnome wizard, and she's worked in libraries and Candlekeeps, but she's got a little artificer in there because her mom was an engineer. She's cousins with Mel, and his dad, or my dad, one of them decided to change how they spell Blanc, which is why the names look different. But I was sucked into a portal for 40 years and became a chef. And so I'm just getting back into this world again, and things are a little discombobulated, but I'm trying to get a grip on it.
All right. Well, we have two players running a little bit behind, so I'll give you some of their information. Avvina is a witch of the Feywild and the Autumn Court, and she has multi-class, I believe, Druid and Rogue. We also have Chip, who is human variant Barbarian, woodcutter by trade. And the two of them hopefully will be joining us shortly. So let's go ahead and kick stuff off from where we were last week. The party of adventurers, having previously encountered the snares and magical traps of Fistandia's mansion, a hidden magical domain inside the Candlekeep, and fighting their way through the events of history and the fabled stories of the lore of Larue, the party soon connected clues regarding the new emergence of strange and somewhat connected plots against the people of the varying kingdoms by the onset, the new arrival of witches. After receiving the clues and information from the wizard Matreus, the court wizard of the Kingdom of Lycanstone, they were sent from Candlekeep back to the fiefdom to revisit the town and help with their issues. The town had been under the blight of a magical curse affecting males between the ages of 13 and up. They would grow sick, fall into a magical sleep, and fester with sores and twist and writhe and contort and seize before ultimately passing away with a frightened look upon their face, days later to be found without heads. The adventurers interviewed the inhabitants of the town who were reluctant to share information and attempted to gain clues from the strange druid Snicklefritz, the dwarf, who claimed to know a little bit about the strange magic and the rumor of a witch. After following some clues, they were led into the sewers of the city and deep down into the cistern, where they encountered a magical puzzle at the pump house control room, where the main water supply to the city was sealed off by a storm door. The party, after struggling a bit with some of the clues, managed to use some previous insights gained by observing the trails of a tricky little boggle.
Struggling with the clues. Hey.
Following the newfound revelations in the cistern pump house room, they were able to uncover the combination to remove the magic lock from the sealed door. And now we arrive with the party of 7, a ragtag band of adventurers, as they've entered into the halls of the fiefdom of Lycanstone's subterranean sewers. And Chip, the human barbarian, following a blood trail immediately from bursting through the doorway into the open hall, ascended the stairs into a circular room, and just as he peeked over the edge, a strange contorted voice called out, "Brother?" And that's where we ended our previous session. So we'll go ahead and pick it up from there. For now, I will go ahead and assume the role of Chip, who will be being played by DM Thomas when he jumps on later. So...
I think we decided to call ourselves a 3-hour tour.
Yes, I think that was decided a while back, or at least one of the name options thrown out there. Oh, the cat is tearing up my headphones and my mic. All right.
I wonder if at ODH we're sort of going to set a trend
Surprise,
of players
motherfucker.
being missing during their character arcs.
Yeah, right. It's kind of important.
Yeah. I think that'll, hey, well, it's too much pressure. You go ahead and do it for me. So let's go ahead and get it started. So Harvey stands behind Chip as Chip hears the strange voice echo out the words "brother," and Chip's gonna stand there, frozen dead still, and without even turning his neck, with his suspicious nature, he whispers as loud as he can awkwardly whisper, trying to be heard in the other room, but also hoping that Harvey and his friends behind him still have his back. And he says, "Swayze? Is that you?" And he waits for a few moments. I see a few of the players roll in perception. Looks like quite a few of you would have actually heard the strange voice as well, echoing from this circular shaped room and down the small hallway and stairs that lead to the base waterway route of the major sewer line. Anybody under a 15 probably wouldn't have picked up on the original announcement, but you would hear Chip's voice shakily saying, "Swayze, is that you?" as he leads the party following the blood trail. And when he asked that question, the strange voice calls out again, and I'll let you all roll a second set of perceptions. Those who got high enough can keep the rolls if they want to, but this strange voice calls out again, And this time, it just starts to mumble. Hello, Chip. What are you doing, brother? Man, Happy's still missing it. Jaren, you would hear the strange voice, and the others that rolled over 15 would hear this strange voice, and Chip just stands there stunned as he hears this voice, and he says, he doesn't go up the stairs, he doesn't look anymore. In fact, he's got his eyes closed and his face buried in his hands, standing there like completely frozen still, and he's talking at his feet basically, and he just says, You can't be Swayze! The witch killed him! Show yourself! Prove it! And when...
Oh, sorry.
All right, so I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. What do y'all want to do?
Harvey wants to lean around and go, "Oi, Gerald! Fuck happened to all your feathers, mate?" Wait. Oh, never mind.
What?
Yeah, I'm even confused about that one.
That was Harvey. Yeah.
DM wants to roll an insight. Did you say Jaren or Gerald?
Gerald.
Roll insight, DM.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a fucking insight.
Wait till we're going with this one.
What is my modifier? Because I got a 13 on die. I'm gonna say insight for me would be like a +2.
Harvey's like that. Mate, we left you in the fucking mansion, mate. What are you doing down here?
So you announced that after hearing the voice?
Yeah, well, I would move up to be able to see this guy.
Okay, so would you be kind of just standing behind Chip?
Yeah, leaning around him because he's definitely Chip's
okay.
definitely taller than Harvey.
Yeah, by at least foot and a half, 2 feet, and Chip's tall as
Probably
shit.
like 2 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like all you see is just feathers. It looks like Chip's got wings.
And you've got your yeah. And then like a second head sprouts out from the shoulder, and it's a fucking rainbow-colored eagle head with a.
Harvey leaps up. I want to leap up onto Chip's shoulder. Like,
oh my god, you're gonna roost. You roost on Chip. Okay, so you roost on Chip and you lean forward with your wing over your eyes, giving yourself like that focused view, and you stare at the strange boggle you met in Fistandia's mansion, and you announce him by a different name, and the boggle looks at you and he says, "Bop, bop, 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 bop. Whack! When you gonna lay an egg, Birdman?"
oh, that's just speciesist right there. That's what that is.
And then he grabs himself by the tummy and like starts to crouch into a ball, and he's seemingly floating on top of this pillar in the middle of this room. And so his feet aren't actually even touching the pillar now, as he doubles over in laughter when you respond back about it being speciesist, and he's like, "I'm just playing, buddy."
Harvey's like, all right, who else wants to talk to him? Fuck this fella.
So
All right.
so this is kind of a crowded doorway. So Chip is still standing in the doorway, right?
Well, so Chip is actually standing on top of Harvey. Harvey's standing on top of Chip's shoulders in the doorway. The ceilings vault up, I'd say, about 15 feet. And then obviously the space to enter this circular room is a 10-foot wide hallway. So basically, Harvey could reach up with his hands standing on top of Chip's shoulders and touch the ceiling very easily.
What's the ceiling look like?
The ceiling, right, as you sniff around and look about the ceiling, you notice some fresh green moss growing down between the cobblestones above in the half circle archway, and some little slithering centipedes that just kind of like skitter out in between the rocks above your head.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna have a snack there.
Yeah, take a little peck and a bite. Crunchy.
Yeah, you want me to make an attack roll?
No, it's cool. Mel, what were you gonna do, buddy?
Oh no, I'm gonna eat a centipede. I'm gonna Harvey's doesn't trust this whole situation. Harvey's gonna look around the room. Does it look like there's any kind of traps on the floor or anything like that?
Just based on where you stand and looking into the room initially, without moving further into the room, everything's pretty much inconspicuous. Around the room, you see. Go ahead.
I want to hop down off of Chip's shoulder.
All right.
And kind of just walk over this way.
Okay. So you can go ahead and move your token if you'd like. And what is the rest of the party doing? Let's get in with Mel. You were getting ready to come up with something and then stopped.
Well, I mean, I guess I can just push my way through here. I'm small enough. Those
Yeah.
guys are big. I can probably just go between somebody's legs.
Yep.
I'm just really kind of curious as to what's going on. So I think Mel's just going to, while whistling kind of tunelessly, just like wander underneath Jaren's legs and into the room. And then just probably wander the other direction. I guess Pump's gonna come with me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look over, and I suppose I probably vaguely recognize the boggart as well. I honestly don't remember how much interaction we had in the mansion.
So
I kinda feel like
when you were
started,
actually one of the only people that really interacted with the Boggle. So like the Boggle was hanging out spying on the events of Fistandia's mansion, and he was basically camped out in camouflage in the menagerie. So
Right.
when you went out there, you not only saw the pixie dragons that were hiding with the invisibility spell, and collected the 2 drift globes with Harvey, but you were the only one to spot the slime trail that led between the hedgerows, where the Boggle had his ear pressed up against the kitchen wall. And you did confront him, and you did talk to the Boggle, and he said that Baba Yaga had sent him.
And
Right.
you didn't kill him.
No, he actually,
It was a question whether that was going to happen, and you didn't, and he was grateful.
yeah, and then he portaled out. Like he actually left the mansion without the password.
I don't think I ever considered killing him.
Well, but he didn't know that.
Right. Okay. So so I guess it takes a minute for all of this to vaguely sort of dawn on Mel.
Mhm.
Kind of squints at him a little bit and goes and says, "Oh yeah. The dragons, right? How are the dragons? Wait, the dragons were. Oh, that's probably a bad subject, right?"
When you bring up the dragons, he kind of shrugs his shoulders at you, and he says, "Guess they're back in the mansion."
Well, all right. Yeah, I'm glad to see. Yeah, I'm glad to see you made it through. That's right. Because yeah, we were coming through, and then there was the storybook, but you weren't there anymore. But you were at the inn. You were at the inn, man. You were all over the inn. How'd you like the accommodations?
He puts his hands together like in a real shy way like this and underneath of his chin, and he starts to sort of sway back and forth. And again, he's still floating about 6 inches above the stone pedestal. And he kind of looks like just super proud of himself. And he says, "I got him the first time. I got him the second time. Ran right through the wall."
Oh, that's right. Was the duck working for you?
"What duck?"
All right, that's it for me right now.
All right.
I'll look at Happy, and just go. Did you know Chip had a brother?
Yes.
Did you?
He used to have a brother, but I didn't know he had, I didn't know he still had one alive.
Well, apparently he's inside there.
What the heck? Okay, so thank you. I think Happy will send Bob over.
Happy, roll me a history check, and Venlee, roll me a history check as well.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what you guys remember.
At this point, Jaren would probably go in the room. I think Chip stopped crying.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's 15. Happy got a 15 history check.
All right, so Venlee, it's a little foggier for you, but Happy, you do remember sitting around the campsite on the opposite side of the river in the lore of Larue, and you remember when Venlee wandered off to the edge of the woods and did her elven trance, you sat around the fire and talked to Chip and Harvey, and Chip shared with you about the death and disappearance of Swayze Endale, his brother and fellow logger, younger brother, in fact, and how it was all tied to Baba Yaga's mysterious appearance in the Bramblewood. So Venlee, Venlee, Happy would have informed you of these things just now, but you would have had a vague idea of the fact that he did have a brother because he also mentioned Swayze when he was drunk at the Manticore Inn the first night you all were there.
He has a
Okay.
little bear that he pulls out sometimes, and he talks.
Yes, a little stuffed bear. All right, so you've told Happy that Chip's brother's in the other room, and I'll let you guys take it from there. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of stay put.
How wide is this door? Is this whole corridor the door?
So it's a 10-foot wide by 10-foot long corridor, and the steps ascend 5 feet. And then the ceiling's about 25 feet tall from the base. And then if you're standing at the top of the steps, it's about a 15-foot ceiling, or whatever
So
the math
Happy,
would be.
yeah,
on that.
Happy can't see squat from where she is, but she can send Bob in, and Bob can, and so she's.
So where do you want to put Bob? Because these are border walls right around here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think then I'll put him over here.
Okay.
And there's quite a few of us in here. Have you described the rest of the place? We know about Swayze in the middle of that, I guess, nasty-looking pool. But what's around the exterior of this?
Yeah. So as you all enter the room, you notice that in the middle of the room is a pool that seems to be basically bone dry at the moment, with a drain in the middle of the floor. And Swayze stands on top of a cement pedestal where the drain is underneath of it, kind of like those little metal iron vents. And so he's in the middle of this drained pool. The drained pool sinks down about 3 feet into like a bowl shape. And then around the outer edges are 4 pillars. And stringed between those pillars is a series of chains. And on the chains hang some crude oil lanterns. And then around the room are wall sconces, also with oil lanterns. And as you all look around the room, you see a series of pipes that snake around the room in 90-degree angles, passing each other and going any route they possibly can around the circular walls, over doorways, and somewhere around the floor as well. And these pipes seem to connect the oil lanterns to one another that are around the outside edge of the room. Over here, you see an access panel with a series of levers on it. And then over here, you see another access panel with a series of levers on it. And as you look about the room, in addition to seeing... I'm sorry for my dog. Hold on a second. In addition to the access panels, as you look around the room, you would see doors, or what appear to be doors at least, in the 4 cardinal directions. So north, south, east, west.
More levers.
And so Happy, when Bob enters the room, Bob scans the room, and you get almost like a holographic projection that appears before your eyes that's completely see-through and incorporeal. And you see basically like a little holocron image of the layout of the cistern, and kind of like the green wireframe appearance of your friends and allies, and then a reddish outlined form of the boggle in the center of the cistern room. And then what I described as well.
I'm going to tell Venlee and Avvina what the room is like, because I think we can't really see from out here. So I'll update them.
Okay. So Happy gives you the deets about the room.
I'll move up to the corner by the door, I guess,
Okay.
so I can peek in, and Uni will follow, like, I guess Uni be next to me, because that's what Uni does.
Okay.
And then that's, I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm not good at anything that's gonna do me any good.
Okay.
I
And
don't
so
know.
you don't want to move into the room. You're just gonna stay outside and look up the stairway.
Yeah, I'll stay outside until I hear some
Okay.
ruckus.
Bring the
Oh,
mother flipping ruckus.
Hey, I'm sorry, but there's sort of an elephant in the room, or at least there was an elephant in the room, and now it's left a big bloody mess there in the entrance. Is there a bunch of blood there that we're sort of glossing over?
Yes. So that's entered the cistern would have walked right past and in many cases through this splattered blood trail that leads up the steps to the central room.
Does that blood
Harvey's
trail?
not watching.
Go ahead.
Does the blood trail end right there at the entrance of the room, or does it come into the room at all?
The blood trail would come into the room, and just by nature of this being a sewer and a cistern, the water level would raise and lower based on, the needs of the town, their water usage, weather conditions, or flooding. And so you would see some spattering of blood around the room, heading in the four cardinal directions again. But the majority of the blood in the room would actually be kind of moving in a northward direction to the room directly ahead. And then the remainder of it would also be moving in the eastern direction towards the door that way. But it would be kind of faded and washed out. So upon initial inspection, you wouldn't really be able to discern the age of the blood. The blood here in the central area is fairly fresh.
Oh, and hey, Avvina.
All right, so I got to change some stuff here, folks. Give me just a moment here. Mm-hmm. Whisper, you on?
Whisper's muted, but here.
Okay. And I think Thomas said he'd be joining in a moment.
Yeah.
All right, so what does anybody else want to do?
So get him moved over to the set of levers and do the perception check
Okay.
to look at them.
Nice. So with your 21, when you stand at this access panel, there's one main lever, and the oil lantern above it is flickering. And other than the lever itself, you would just see a green and a blue indicator, like glass. And neither of the two are presently illuminated, but above one you would see on, and above the other you would see off.
Is the green one on?
Neither of them are illuminated at the
No,
moment.
but I mean, you said that.
Oh,
above
yes,
one.
yes, sorry. The green one would be on, the red one would be off. Yes,
Okay.
my bad.
So, but there's no direction to other words on the panel.
No, actually, you can roll me an investigation check if you'd like to discern more about the panel.
I mean, the directions are obvious. We're in a room that's clearly prone to flooding, so we should start pulling levers.
Pull the lever, Kronk!
Oh, the lever is Kronk. Yes.
That's hilarious.
I mean, if you guys want to pull the lever, I'll.
It's all logical, right?
Yeah, Jaren almost drowned the last time. He's all for that. Yeah.
My investigation sucks.
All right, so when you look at this panel box, the only thing you can really tell with your investigation is that the lever seems to basically turn from left to right. So if you take it from the middle position and you turn it to the left side by cranking it by the ball handle from the top where it's pointed upward and turning it to the left at 90-degree angle, it would go over top of the green light. And then if you turn it the other way, it would go over top of the other light.
Cool.
Harvey, give him like the help action on that investigation check.
Certainly. So you want to move over to the panel and check things out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is the panel on the other side similarly arranged?
Yeah, Mel moved over to the other panel.
All right. So go ahead and roll me your investigation again with the advantage, Jaren.
Okay.
Just one more roll. Right?
Yeah, one more is what I meant. Sorry. Thank you, Jason. My bad.
I don't think it'll matter. Nope. 11.
All right. You might actually have that roll glitch, so I would maybe leave and jump back in potentially, or you can roll me a physical die if you want, because that's a known issue. We had a lot of 11s last game.
Nope. I rolled a 10.
Okay.
I'm stuck.
Okay. All right. So yeah, no, the two of you looking at it together, you can just put together that there's a left direction and a right direction to the lever, and this panel is directly next to a doorway that you see in front of you all to the left side.
Harvey's
So
like,
Happy
oh yeah.
Happy can message Mel and say, Mel, you want to take a look at that panel, and Bob will help. So Bob can give him a helping action on that.
Works for me.
Help what?
Look at the panel, sweetie. Tell us what's going on.
I can see the panel.
So did you roll your investigation for me?
Oh, investigation. Why would I investigate it?
Maybe Bob will do an investigation. Hey, can you help Bob, Mel? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay,
He
so I'm just
might
going to roll an investigation.
just pull the lever.
Bob for me, and that's a 23.
All right. So when Bob looks at the panel with Mel, as Mel scratches his head and Pump, impatiently taps his magical
Mel-
turkey leg club in his hand.
Mel produces a giant magnifying glass, and he's got like one big eye in it.
Great.
You're getting really close to the panel, and Bob kind of buffets up against you with the pages flapping as it hovers there, trying to steady itself to look at the panel with you. And for a moment, Happy, you get a strange vision as Bob's eyes look through the magnifying glass, and you get this weird, warped, blurred, distorted, like jumbo-headed version of Mel that just comes straight into your face, like big teeth and nose, like practically 3D poking you in the face. And Mel, as you guys look at the panel together, Happy looks over at you, Mel, and says, well, it seems pretty easy. One lever for the door to the north. One lever for the door to the east. Now, I always did like the east. It's the morning, rising sun. Anyway, that's about all I got.
So I'm sorry. Are there actually two levers, or is this one of the same?
Yeah. So there's a lever on this side, and there's a lever on this side, and the levers can turn left or right, and they have the same series of red and green indicator glasses below.
Okay, so just to make sure I am fully understanding this, I've got a panel. Each panel has the panel has two levers.
Yes.
The levers do not pull like down; they pull side to side.
So if you can see my camera, if this is the lever, it's currently in the upright position.
Please return all levers to the upright position.
And you can tilt the lever to the left, or you can tilt it to the right.
Okay.
It's just like a metal ball-handled lever, so you could physically turn it this way or physically turn it that way. And there's a green glass lamp underneath of both sides, and one says on and one says off. And so this panel is in between on the wall, and Bob has just explained to you that the lever here corresponds with the doorway here, and that the lever here corresponds with the doorway here.
Sure. Okay. So I guess Mel is going to turn around, lean up against the panel, begin knitting a scarf, and look back at the. I'm sorry, what was it again? A boggle? Is that what we're looking at there?
Yeah, the boggle.
Looking back at the boggle, and say, so, how you been? What you been up to? What are we doing here?
At this point, the boggle is twisting its toe nervously, and he's still levitating, but one foot is actually kind of like tracing out, meandering on the stone pillar, and he wrings his hands nervously and looks at his feet, and he says, can't really talk about the boss, but working for the old lady?
And what's Chip doing at this point?
Until I guess is Thomas joined the call.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
All right, cool. So, Thomas, I'm going to bring you up to speed and let you run with it. Your character walked up first, and the game ended with the Boggle announcing himself by saying, "Hey, brother." I role-played you for a little bit. You stood in the doorway, frozen, terrified by the sound of the strange voice that came out of this deformed form. And then you put your hands in your face in your hands and looked at your feet and denied it, kind of Luke Skywalker style, like, "No, that's not true. That's impossible." And then Boggle responded to you. Basically, he was happy to see you, and you stood there frozen. And Harvey jumped up on your shoulders and perched and inquired with the Boggle some more, having remembered him from Fistandia's mansion. And so I'll let you take over from here, and I'll also bring Avvina in as well, since the two of y'all are present on the call now. So Chip, go ahead and kick it off. You snap to it. You notice that your friends have moved past you, kind of brushing your shoulder as they walk along you in the corridor and up the stairs. What do you want to do?
I'm like, are these columns right here?
Yeah, so all around the room are a series of columns that are connected by chains, and these rusted chains have some oil lanterns, and then around the circular room itself are oil lanterns on the wall with a series of pipes connecting them that snake out in all different directions on the floor, the ceiling, and the walls, and the pipes connect to one another. Based on everyone's just initial inference from seeing the room, these are like some sort of natural gas or like oil pipes that fuel and power the lamps. You have your friends to the northwest and northeast looking at control panels. The northwest has 2 levers. The northeast has 1 lever. And the latest revelation that the rest of your party has made that you would not know in-game, but out-of-game can know, they have figured out that the levers correspond to the doors in each of the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west.
And Happy was going to message Jaron and tell him what Bob figured out so they know the same thing on the panel.
Okay. So, Jaren, you get a psychic message, and what do you want to do, Chip? Sorry.
Chip's just gonna, he's gonna avoid the bear trap, and he's gonna come over here, underneath the light.
So that would actually be a pillar. You're like leaning up against a pillar. Oh, no, it's not. Never mind. Yeah, you're underneath the light. Sorry. I thought it was a pillar.
And just kind of like using the light to see this Boggle. He's gonna say, it can't be. You're not my brother. You're just getting in my head. You're just getting in my head, and I'm just gonna keep walking over here. There's no way it can be my brother. It's not my brother. This is not my brother.
When you say that, as your back is turned and you walk away, the Boggle hops down off the pillar, but is still floating about 6 inches above this empty pool, and he kind of like wisps through the air, guiding himself. He's literally holding his nose like this and pulling himself by the nose, and as he kind of floats through the air, his feet drag behind him, just basically barely grazing the surface of this seemingly empty, dried pool. And he gets to the edge of this, cylindrical room, drain hole chamber, whatever you want to call it. And he lands on his feet, and you just hear as the sticky, slimy foot pads make contact with the cold, wet concrete tiles. And he taps you on the back with his sticky, slimy, oily finger. And he says, It's me, brother.
You see, if you haven't seen family in a while and you've changed a lot, it's always, do you see, Happy? This is why I don't want to talk to my parents right now.
It's all right, Mel. I understand.
Things change. It gets uncomfortable and awkward.
Your mom has not turned into a Boggle.
So, Chip, you've been tapped on the back, and you feel this strange sensation. What do you do? Did he mute?
Chip's
Oh,
gonna
sorry.
slowly, he's gonna slowly turn around and be like, if you're my brother, what's his full name?
And that's when he kind of crouches down and puts his shoulders up really high, and he goes, and he starts to pick his nose, and he sticks his finger way up in his nose, and he's like, and he shoots like a loogie down on the ground, and he says, name is Swayze, Patrick, and Dale.
All
You
right.
need another hug, Chip.
I how long you were this is Chip is like he just doesn't his mind is like lost. He can't fathom nor does he understand why this has happened to his brother. How the horrific transformation from that like wandering ogre like tree creature to turned into this. He just his mind is completely unable to grasp just any of it.
I don't know, Chip. I'm not convinced yet. Ask him something only your brother would know. But he might be reading your mind, so make sure it's something you don't know.
Chip gets ready to ask a question, and then he stops, and then looks at Mel, and he's like, "Huh?"
So the Boggle struggles for a minute because he's just confused, and everybody around him is talking to him and not, assaulting him, which is something he's not used to. And he suspiciously looks around, and he kind of goes, "Oh!" And he like ducks his head, expecting to be smacked when you turn around. And he says, "Oh, close one." And he pats about his chest, and you see him. He kind of like spreads some of his like oily black chest hairs aside, and then you see him peel something up from his chest. And as you look at this, Chip and Jaren, you would see this. Avvina, you may notice from behind, and Harvey as well. He starts to peel this thing up from his chest, and you notice that underneath the surface of this purple, black, inky, slimy, sticky goo is the remnants of a red and green and white flannel shirt. And he's actually pulling open a shirt pocket in his flannel shirt. And out of the shirt pocket, he pulls out a small trinket. And the trinket is a woodcutter's token from the guild back in Lycanstone.
Yeah.
And he puts the challenge token out in his hand, and like he kind of lifts it up to you, and he says, "No, challenge."
Chip takes a step back.
And then when you step back from the Boggle, he rubs the token again on his shirt, trying to get it clean, and he goes, and as he does, like strings of this oily black slime spittle out of his mouth, and he looks at it, he says, "Oh, it's clean.
What's this like? What's this creature like wearing? You said he's like wearing like flannel like shirt. With,
So
like, a
when
bunch-
you initially look at him,
Like, what?
he's all black and purple.
Like, does he look like my brother?
No. So the only thing discernible about him to being Swayze would be his jawline. He has this perfectly manicured square jaw with just this excellent cleft in it. I mean, it's basically like a Gaston chin.
It's a family mark. Dude.
Oh, yeah, it's the
everybody in
chin.
the family has one.
And
you
he
know?
has a bit of a smolder. So, like,
Yeah.
you know, just like you, he's got that look in his brow. It's
Damn.
just a deep, deep pool. Yeah,
He just- he
but
just-
it's like the clothes that he's wearing are completely submerged under this black coating that just oozes from his skin. So when he pulled the shirt out, it was kind of like if you were covered in mud and then like you lifted your shirt out of the mud you were covered in. That's what his that's when you were able to see he does have a flannel shirt on, but he's not wearing pants or shoes.
Chip, he like pauses for a second, and he sees, he kind of sees this creature in what it's presenting itself as. After when the token was pulled from the pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and like when he said challenge, that's like that like sold it. That's like Chip knows that this is Swayze, and immediately Chip comes down, like kind of like moves forward and then like comes down a little bit and like takes like a knee, and then like reaches out and like holds like kind of grabs like the from underneath on the hand, like holding the button,
Mm-hmm.
so I can kind of get the oil on my hands a little bit. Like
Okay.
Chip doesn't really care about it.
So
And
you
he,
take the challenge
reaches
token from Swayze.
yeah, and like he takes his right hand and he like pulls it out of his the challenge token out of Swayze's hand, and he says, "What do you need me to do?"
And that's when he basically pantomimes to you. He points to your back, and I'll let you come up with a name for it out of game. But he points to your glaive that you have strung across your shoulder, and he goes, "We do 'em smash slash." Sorry, that just cracked me up. Sorry. So after he points at your glaive, he kind of like motions that he's like chopping wood. So it's basically like from one woodcutter to another. He's given you his challenge coin, and he said, "Yeah, I'm your brother. I'm in the Woodcutters Guild in Lycanstone, and I've challenged you to a lumberjack contest." Like that's the way he's trying to relate to you, human to Boggle, with his memory. So you've taken this challenge token from Swayze, and he says, "We play Smash Slash."
All right. Chip, within with the hand that he was like holding underneath his brother's hand, he like put it on his brother's shoulder and say, it's one hell of a way to see you. You feeling okay?
Honey, can you turn it down just a notch?
You still in there?"
When you say, "Are you feeling okay?" as you have your hand on his shoulder, he kind of puts his hands up to his head and starts like boxing his own ears. And he's just, I'm not going to do it because my headphones are on, but he's like literally like smacking himself in the head, and he's like, "Gotta get to the boss. Yep. Swayze. You do it. You do what I say, Swayze. Yes, boss. I do what you says. Mel. Oh boy, where we at?" And then he like focuses back on you for a second, and like the clarity comes back, and he looks at you, and Swayze's looking at you again.
I'll never understand that disgusting woman's taste.
if Chip doesn't mind, Jaren would like to ask Swayze a question. Is that okay? Chip.
He might have gone AFK. Is he muted?
I've literally been talking for like 5 minutes.
Jeez. All right.
No
so-
BS. That sucks.
It's
'Cause
all
I've
good.
literally been trying to roleplay with like Jared
It's okay.
after he did what he did.
Yeah. So
Like
confused.
asking.
Swayze beat himself in the head confusingly, and then he had this two-way dialogue where he was pretending to be the boss talking to him, and him basically explaining he was going to follow the boss's commands.
Yeah, so what I actually said was, but you didn't hear it. I said, Chip would turn to his brother and say, would it be okay if we asked you a few questions? Hopefully it doesn't cause you any harm, hurt your head. Jaren, be my guest.
I was like, I lean down to the bottle. I'm like, Swayze, I know that you can't talk about your master, but in your service to her, have you seen a little girl named Laura?
You ask if he's seen a little girl named Laura.
Yeah.
All right. So, Swayze looks around suspicious, and he kind of like darts eyes back and forth between you and Chip, and he ducks again. He goes, "Whoa, whoa!" And then he says, "Mm-hmm."
You okay?
And then he looks around again more suspiciously, and he leans forward real close, and he says, "No. Mm-mm. No, no, no. Mm-mm-mm."
And he give me any more detail? And no.
You can roll insight on that.
I was just saying, you're just gonna believe that?
So, you guys are trusting this strange magical failing quite a lot. There's been like no insight checks. No, I'm just playing.
Checks
It's all,
out.
you know. Hey, Mel likes it. It's like the Mikey test. If Mel likes him, everybody likes him.
I don't need to.
My passive insight is a 19.
No, it's all good, dude. I'm not lying to anybody. Swayze's being authentic right now. So he.
Swayze just said yes and then no. So yeah, that's authentic.
So. Y'all kill me, man. And Wes, I promise you, Wes, we'll get to some action here in just a minute.
Well, I want to do something before we do anything.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah, he's about to kill my boggle brother.
Don't do it. I'll cry.
We're not going to kill your bottle unless we have to.
I don't know. I might.
Oh fuck. All right. So jeez.
Hey, real quick, Ryan, just for your benefit, that roll that I made indicates that after like 5 turns, Mel is going to absent-mindedly lean against the northmost lever on that panel and push it to the left without meaning to.
Okay.
Awesome.
Can I do something at some
Awesome.
point?
Yes. Let's do that real quick. So we'll pause the response from Swayze to Jaren. I'll get back to you. I promise.
So that'll be after about 5 turns, like from when we started off this thing, so you can determine when that happens.
Awesome. All right. So Venlee, go ahead and come in real quick, and then we'll get to Avvina real quick.
Well,
as well
I
after.
don't need to go in. I want to. I mean, since we all like Mel said, everybody just ignored all the blood.
Yeah.
I want to check and see if I can figure out where this blood came from.
All right. So you lean down to inspect the blood, and little Uni leans down with you, and she goes, and then she looks at you and points her head down, and her horn starts to glow. It's like a purple black color. It's almost like a black light. It starts to like illuminate, and the blood comes to life before your eyes. and you take a big sniff, and for some reason, just the inclination of her smelling the blood makes you smell it as well. And the mix of iron that hits your nose immediately leaves you with the stench of an embalmer's room or a butcher's shop, and you instantly recognize this blood to be the smell of human blood. From the blood you would have had on your fist in fighting pits in the Shadowfell, and just the taste of your own blood running across your lip as you trained and fought against other humans, you know that this blood is fresh and human.
Okay.
Or could just be when he lost his baby too, or she lost her baby too.
You protecting your daddy.
All right. And so I know it's fresh.
Yes.
But I don't see. Do I see any kind of like? Is there a specific like pattern? Like, does it look like claw marks, or does it look like a boggle could have done this?
That's a great question. So you gosh damn it.
Most definitely.
Oh man. Okay. So
Smugglers.
you look at the floor in front of you, and now that everyone's cleared the corridor, you follow the trail of blood up the steps, and you do see what appear to be humanoids shaped drag marks, where there's a space in between as though someone was dragged by their shirt collar backwards and their heels dragged against the ground, leaving a trail of blood leading up the stairs. But like I described to Mel, because this room occasionally fills with water and then drains, the blood trail on the ground is basically washed away and the age is not really discernible. But you look up the wall and you find that the blood trail traces itself along the western edge of the corridor, and it looks like a hand mark, like somebody was resisting being dragged away. And then as it rounds the corner, the blood trail turns into two hand marks that drag up the wall of the cistern behind Avvina, go about 15 to 20 feet up, and then they start to disappear into just like fingertips, as though the person was being pulled away from the wall and tapping and stamping their bloody fingerprints on it. And then the blood trail disappears just above the ceiling, or just at the ceiling above the oil lantern that is between Avvina and the boggle.
Oh. Okay, I guess so since I'm now in the room now.
Well, and I would say like you could see that from like here or here. So you don't have to be in the room. You could be in either of these two spaces.
No, I'll go ahead and stand right here.
Okay.
And then Uni will be behind me.
Okay.
And then I'll see Avvina. And I'll tell Avvina exactly what I just noticed. And I say, it kind of stopped right at that oil lamp right above you.
Well, that would be disconcerting. Here. And Avvina will flick her wand in her hand, and it'll become it'll grow into her staff, and she will sit on it, side saddle, and begin just floating up to where it ends.
So you float delicately and poised atop your broom, and you have your notepad out as you sit there, completely unflinched in perfect balance. And you rise 5, 10, 15 feet up the wall, and eventually the wall turns into a curved dome-like ceiling, which ascends another about 15 feet. So the center of the room would be about 30 feet high, and you trace the curvature of the roof with your hand gliding against the stone. You're not even looking at the blood trail. You're still just kind of looking in your notebook. And you pause your broom and float just above the oil lantern, about 10 or 15 feet above it.
Is there anything in the roof? Or is there anything on the wall that...
Roll me a perception check. And real quick, while you're doing that, I'm going to do the answer for Jaren. So you asked if there was more he could tell you about Laura.
Yes.
And the boggle puts his hands over his mouth, and he says... And then he says, oh, wait. She make a dolly. Yep. She can make a dolly.
The next time you see her, will you tell her that I'm looking for? I'm her brother.
And when you say brother, he points at his chest, and then he points at you, and then points back at his chest, and points at Chip, and he says, brother, my, and he starts like scratching his slimy head, and then he puts his finger in his mouth and goes, ooh, brother. He's really dumb. He doesn't understand when you. So he's double checking that you're saying you're Laura's brother.
Yeah, she's my sister.
And then he says, she on Laura, Swayze, but I'm on a Chip. Yeah, what's your name?
Jaren. My name's Jaren.
And then he writes the letters in his hand, like on the slime in his skin. He just kind of like traces it out as though he's creating a method of remembering it.
Thanks, Swayze.
Then he kind of nods. All right, so circling back around, Avvina, with your perception, as you look around the room and you stare at the ceiling where the blood trail is, floating between the oil lantern chain and the space where the blood trail ends on the ceiling, you stare up at the stonework and you notice a ripple, a strange bend of light.
Shit. I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
All right. So when you cast Detect Magic, you see immediately that the floor of the room begins to glow, pale purple color, and illuminate around the edges of the bowl where the drain is, and out 15 feet around the perimeter where the columns meet. And then...
so I guess like kind of like where it's like that light green area is?
Exactly, yes. So basically like this whole circle would illuminate a light purple color to Avvina when she looks through the eyes of her spell. And immediately, as you scan back to the distorted image you see between you and the ceiling, the ripple begins to collect itself into an outline in a strange bat-like form.
She's just gonna, I'm gonna start preparing a firebolt in my hand. Unwanted company. And she's just going to fire the firebolt directly into the bat-like form.
Alright, as you do, I need everyone to roll initiative. And I need you to make your attack roll, your spell attack roll.
To roll, everybody to roll what initiative?
Yeah.
Where's my initiative?
Oh no.
I guess Avvina's first.
We'll see.
Happy to 12.
Had to start somehow.
I didn't start this fight yet.
How do you get to roll percentile dice for your initiative? That's crazy.
All right, so I'm going to apologize to the viewers. For some reason, I can't get the combat tracker to show up for y'all to see very well. So I will turn it on and off, but I will try to keep track of who's in where, what order.
What you might want to do is zoom out of the combat zone. Yeah. So
it's
people
there.
can see it.
Okay, Cool.
Well, I'm saying for the stream.
Yeah, I have to like shrink the map. Let me see if I can do that real quick, guys. Give me 1 second. I appreciate everyone's patience while I do this.
It's good.
Yeah, just click the minus a bunch of times and just,
Right into the combat zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kenny Loggins was one of Swayze Patrick's coworkers.
Happy probably saw him
Firebolt
on
was
tour.
28 to hit and 9 damage.
Okay.
If this was my brother, I don't know. Whew.
Sorry, I guess that would have been Loggins Kenny.
How dare you? No, I'm just.
What's going on with Avvina over here and this thing beside Avvina?
What thing? That's what she. That's what she was able to pick up on with her perception roll. Yeah.
Oh, and for some reason, so I forgot to click for advantage on my initiative, so I rolled twice, but it just gave me the lower one for some reason. I don't know.
Holy crap! Does everyone have advantage on initiative?
I do.
No, I
I'm
just have a +9.
Well, Happy
No,
doesn't.
Jaren does. I do.
I do.
Tommy does.
How do y'all have advantage on initiatives?
I do because of my race, I think. Either that or me being a monk.
I do because I'm a demon.
Alright.
Well, that's
All right,
DM.
let me get some stuff going here for myself, guys, as well. Go ahead, Avvina. What's your question?
Sir DM, would you allow me to use sneak attack on that spell?
Bachi Bazooka, welcome.
Doesn't work on spells, does it?
It does not normally, no.
I'm gonna say no because of the fact that these things were aware of your presence before you were aware of theirs.
These things?
Yeah, these things.
Oh,
yes, multiple,
well, you
wonderful.
didn't think he was gonna
All right,
have
let
to
me go get a
fight
piece of
one
pie.
thing in the cistern. I mean,
Oh, this is fucking brilliant. Awesome. All right, let me go ahead and go around here and make some shit happen.
you know, when Jason DM sounds maniacal, laughs, it's really like blood curdling, and when you sound just happy, it's kind of scary.
Oh crap!
Yeah, like that. It's just kind of scary.
All right, so
Only
Yeah,
4 of them
Avvina
so
yelled
far.
unwanted company and then shot.
right, which was probably a good idea. All right, so you go ahead and blast off your firebolt, and it collides with the rippling image of the bat figure that your detect magic revealed to you, and it connects. And let me go ahead and see what it does here. I'm pretty sure it does a lot. Do-ba-do. Where are we at? Okay. I'm pulling up my encounter builder. Sorry, guys. And did you roll your damage yet?
9 damage.
Okay, cool. All right. So it collides with this strange creature, and it breaks the spell. And above you, floating about 5 to 10 feet from your face, is a humanoid head with long, dripping fangs and bat wings protruding out of the sides of its skull, and it flaps there, hovering above you.
It's gross.
Wonderful. Bonus action, I'm going to drop Detect Magic and cast Flame Blade.
Okay. So the spell fades, and everything you had seen magically illuminated dims, and you have your blade you pull from your side and run your hand along it as the fire goes and emblazons the steel. And with that, let's go ahead and move to Jaren's turn, unless you'd like to move or take another action as a part of your action economy.
I'm pretty sure it's going to end up trying to move towards me, but I'll guess I'll move in within 5
It
feet.
won't-
Tries to
I
move
mean,
away.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, you're out of its range, so there would be no attack of opportunity.
Oh.
I know.
You'd have to disengage.
I'll move
No.
within 5 feet.
He doesn't need to. He's out of his range.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Floating up to it.
All right, so you're gonna You're within 10 feet of it, or directly 5, like right beside it?
Directly in front of it.
Okay, cool. So you fly up to meet it.
I'm gonna flip so I have a more secure hold on my broom.
All right. So you hold your flame blade and grab a hold of your broom, bracing in the air. With that, let's move on to Jaren's turn.
Jaren's gonna cast Toll the Dead on flying creature that Avvina hit with.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack.
I think I did roll it. I just can't see it. Can anyone see what I rolled?
I don't see it.
16.
Yeah,
Yeah,
16.
16.
That's the
Because-
the damage for your spell.
Yeah. The DC is
12,
20. The DC is 20.
Okay. Cool.
If they can.
So as this bell tolls out, it shakes the airspace around this creature as it struggles to maintain flight, and you do 16 damage. You see the creature gurgle and foam at the mouth as it goes and shrinks down, shriveling in space. As it falls to the ground, it withers away into like a green bio goo and just seeps into the floor and disappears.
Mm.
I'm sure we won't see it ever again.
No.
All right. So with that, it is actually
And the next
Venlee's.
combat scene.
It's Venlee's turn.
Well, as my free action, I'm gonna pull out my broom and get on it, but I'm not gonna do anything with it.
Okay.
Just wanted to do that for next turn.
All right. So you have your broom in hand, ready to go. And Venlee, what do you want to do?
I will. They're all flying, right?
So you look around the room and you see 3 other strange humanoid faces with bat wings protruding and dripping fangs.
And they're flying.
Yes.
Okay, I'll hold an action in case one of them wants to attack me. In case, like, the one to my right wants to attack me.
All right. So you
I
hold.
gotta hold my action
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
because I can't do anything.
So you. All right. So you hold your action. What else do you want to do? Move, bonus action.
I'm just gonna stay right there for now.
All right. So you stand guarding the entryway to this door, and end your turn. And with that is going to be their turn. So this guy right here, seeing what happens to his ally, uses its movement speed to flutter above and get in between the two of you. And
Oh, good.
it is going to do its attack against Venlee and Avvina. And you see this floating, severed head, dripping blood from the neck. As it flaps before you, it goes... And I need the 2 of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Oh, good.
Is this against being charmed or putting
No.
me to sleep?
No. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me double check.
If
No, it is
either
not.
of you
No.
are within 10 feet of me, you get +6.
I'm
Neither of them are.
not. We aren't.
Okay.
It was a 17, and then it rolled to a 3.
Is it charmed or...
No.
Okay. So just a regular roll for me. Oop. That's an 11, I believe.
All right. So both of you fail your saves.
Mhm.
The 2 of you hear this sound belt out of this severed head in an unnaturally loud tone. A multitude of humanoid sounding voices mixed in with the likes of monstrosities and demons only your worst nightmares could imagine. And before the 2 of you have a chance to
No
cup
kittens
your
and puppies.
Before the two of you have a chance to cup your ears and protect yourself from this scream, each of you are instantly stunned and frightened.
Oh no.
That's no fun.
And so the Varagul is going to end its turn. The next one coming up is just above Mel, and he is going to do the same. So this creature floats down to just in front of you. So he's level with the ground now because you're less than 5 feet. And he's looking at you almost face to face, floating in front of you and Pamplemousse, and he shrieks. And I need you to also roll a wisdom saving throw.
I don't like these things.
Yeah, it's not great.
So Mel, what'd you get on your wisdom save?
Oh, sorry. Here I'm talking with my mic up. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is clearly a magic effect, so I get advantage on this thing.
Actually, I don't believe it is.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a spell. It just has to be magic.
It is actually not magic.
What?
Yep, it is just considered a regular attack. It is a stunning. It's a stunning shriek.
So, Mel, is a wisdom a bad one for you? Because I have a reaction where I can change it to a different.
I mean, it's not a bad one, but it's not a great one. But I mean,
Really close at all either. You're not even in the room.
but that's
I
like
can
You pass your
it.
save.
this is clearly.
You pass your save.
But all right, so it as it's looking me in the face, what does its face look like? Like, is this who does this look like it might have been in life?
So when you stare at the face of this strange severed head screaming at you, past the grayed and rotting tissue of its once humanoid flesh, you can just make out the expression of a common human male, 5 o'clock shadow, an eye patch over one eye, and a big bulbous chin. It just looks to be like a male from the town.
Cool. So yeah, as it's screaming in Mel's face and his hair is kind of like, and his little bunny ears are
Fluttering.
flapping backwards.
You did pass your save, by the way.
Yeah, he just sort of like, sort of squints one eye as all that's sort of happening to him as he takes that in. Okay.
Yep. So, roll me an insight check after having dealt with this screaming shriek.
Sure.
And while you do that, I'm going to move forward to my final Varagul.
That's as high as I can possibly roll on an insight check.
So, all right, I'll send you a message here in just a moment.
Groovy.
Harvey, Jaren, and Chip, I need the three of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, well, Harvey and Chip both get +6 to whatever they roll. Because Lewis interfering.
Yep.
Are you serious? I quit failed and still got a 16.
Nice.
That's pretty awesome.
Saved by the bell. All right, what do we got, Harvey and Chip? Wisdom save, Harvey, you pass.
21 for Harvey.
All right. And what about you, Chip? Are you there, Chip? I think his mic might be screwing up or something. Or maybe he
I
went
don't see a
AFK.
roll in game log.
He's there, but he's not muted. All right, so we'll come back to him when he chimes in. Because I can hear his sounds in the background, so I think maybe he's doing something. All right, so we'll hold off on Thomas. So the two of you passed. We don't know about Chip. And with that, it's going to be Mel's turn. So, Mel, let me send you a quick message.
I think we're in like multitude of platforms here. Where are you sending me the message?
It'll be in the game log.
Sorry,
Okay.
that was
but
funny.
only you can see it, and then our our people streaming can see it as well.
Cool.
So honor system for the other players.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he could share if he wants to.
Well, he could for sure.
That's crazy talk. All right. So I am going to now need this this very loud head.
So it looks like we got a cure wounds on the table and a rolls disadvantage and a luck redeemed. So we'll take those into account. So go ahead, Mel. Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to need him to make a savings throw of some sort as soon as I find it. Yeah, intelligence save DC 18 as a body shows up that looks very much like the body that does like a male body that like might be attached to that head. Shows up and starts trying to grab the head and reattach it.
Awesome.
So now this body is now chasing this head around, attempting to reattach it. That is Phantasmal Force.
Okay.
And each round on its turn, he's going to take 1d6 psychic damage as its body tries to reclaim it.
Okay. So would he take the damage now initially or on the turn when it comes up again?
Each round on your turn. So yeah, that's my turn, I guess. When it says your, I assume it's talking to me.
Okay,
Talking to me,
cool.
Right?
Gotcha. Yeah, it would say, I guess it would say enemy's turn. So yeah, so we'll say, you said it's a d6. Go ahead and roll that damage for me.
Yeah, so he'll just take like 1d6 psychic damage, and now he's being pursued by his own body. He takes 3 points of psychic damage as this occurs.
That's creepy, dude.
Thanks.
I dig it. I dig the flavor, man.
It's like,
I am here to out creep the headless vampire.
So do me.
Vampire.
So as this body apparates before you with your spell, for some reason the insanity of your brain recalls a few verbal descriptions that you heard throughout town and by the mayor of some people, and the body you actually conjure that begins to chase this head around unknowingly matches the head it belongs to. And this spectral body is that of one of the mayor's goons that was found headless at the gallows, laid out and presented and hogtied.
Oh, one of the goons that did bad things for the girl?
Yes.
Ooh, okay, cool.
So now this goon's body is flailing around chasing after this Varigul, trying to grab its head and reattach it to its spectral body. All right, so that was awesome. Dig it. Happy you're up.
okay. So if I was thinking about hypnotic pattern, if I put it up in the air, is there a way to get these three characters in it and not be hitting any of the like Avvina who's up in the air? I have a 30-foot cube. Is there a way to do that?
So this one is ground level now with Mel.
Okay.
This one is still floating in the air. It's about 5 feet below the ceiling.
Okay.
And so where the dome curves down, I would say it's probably about 20 feet above the group of these three, Chip, Jaren, and Harvey. The Varigul that Avvina killed is on the floor at her feet, and the one between Avvina and Venlee is about the same distance. So I would say you could put the cube up high enough that it would get these two potentially based on its size.
On the left.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. So they need to make a whiz 18.
Alrighty. First one, I'm sure is a failure. I gotta check the stat. I'm thinking it is though, based on the die. Yes, fails. And the second one also fails. They are not very wise.
Okay, so they become charmed for the duration, and while they're charmed, they're incapacitated, and they have a speed of 0. Now, I don't know if that means they fall.
It would actually, because they're not able to fly, and they have to propel themselves actually by flying.
Okay,
So they would take the fall damage as well.
okay.
Nice.
That's pretty fucking nuts. So they're charmed and incapacitated?
Charmed and incapacitated and have a speed of 0.
Damn. Good spell.
For how long?
The duration is up to 1 minute.
All right, so I am really bad at remembering fall damage. It's 1d6 per certain amount of feet. Help me out, fellow players. All right, so they would have fallen from, I'll just say, we'll say 20 feet. Fuck it. I want to be fair. They're up there. They've been flying
1d6.
around. So it's just
You could
1d6 for 20
You
feet?
could say it's 1d6
No,
for 10 feet.
Yeah, so 20 feet's 2d6.
All right, yeah. So each of them is going to take 8 points of fall damage.
Okay.
Nice move.
So that was my action, and I think I'm going to stay where I am and sort of watch our flank down here and keep an eye on Uni, right?
Yep.
Uni's between. Maybe I'll come up just a little bit. I want to be close up to grab her if I need to. And then for a bonus action, can I telekinetically shove that one over by Mel 5 feet away from him?
As long as you're within range to be able to do that. What's the range on your spell? I think it's... So you would just need to move within range to cast it.
30. Okay, so let's see. 15, 20, 20. Yeah, that's not going to be... I'm not going to do that. Stay inside. Okay, so I believe I'm good.
Are you able to cast through Bob?
Oh, yeah, I can cast through Bob.
So if you move Bob, you could cast it. But obviously
yeah.
you'd
That's not a
want...
spell, though. That's feat.
Oh, her telekinetic shove is a feat for her as a character, not through Bob or Spellbook.
It's not a spell, yeah. It's not a spell.
Well, you haven't used your movement. If you move up into the room, you would be within range to do it.
No, that's okay. I want to watch our back door because there's nobody else back here, and I want, if Baba Yaga and any of her minions are around, I want Uni between Venlee and me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm good. That's okay. I'll conclude my turn there. That was it.
All right, makes sense. So, with that, it's gonna be Harvey's turn.
All right. Harvey's just looking at it. What is this? So this one's prone right here in front of him, right?
Yeah.
All right. Harvey's gonna be like, "What the fuck happened to you, mate? You get loose from a taxidermy. You gotta put these things back on the wall." So he's gonna go ahead and take his axe and swing down, and he's getting an advantage.
Yep.
It's good. So that's gonna be 18.
Hits.
Oh boy, that'll be 15 damage.
All right, how do you want to do this?
All right, so
Dang.
Harvey's like, Harvey just walks up to it and just swings his axe like a golf club. The blunt end just smashes this thing.
All right. You just like
And then,
reach over, thwack.
Yep, that's exactly right. And then Harvey's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20,
All right. I need
25
you
feet.
to make a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh.
Even though he's flying?
Even though I'm flying?
Oh, you were flying. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you say that. I thought you just moved.
Well, you... Oh, no, I'm flying.
Okay. Yeah, never mind then. Don't worry about it.
Harvey's got wings, mate. He's going to fly up there. Going to do the same thing to this one.
All right.
Let's say 15.
Hits.
All right. 15 points of damage.
All right. Same deal. You reach down and whack it across the face as you splat it to the ground, and it also fizzles and starts to disappear into stonework.
All right, so that's 25 feet. So
He was
far.
about to go home. Aw.
So he's going to go, Harvey's going to go 5, so it's 25, 30, 35, 45, 50. He's going to do the same thing. This one.
Yep.
Damn, this door.
Go.
But he's-
Go.
This time he's just going to try to kick him. This one's prone, so it's, it's advantage on this one. 24 to hit.
Absolutely hits.
Going to be 10 points of damage.
Yep. All right, same deal. This time you scratch down at it like a chicken in a coop, clawing for a little larvae under the soil, and you just claw across it, and you see the slime squeeze between your talons, and it starts to slip under your feet and begin to dissolve into the stonework.
All right, cool. Then Harvey's going to go back over here where the boggle was. Just get up on top of this land on the little post there.
All right, you perch on the cement pedestal in the middle of the drain floor.
Man, somebody's insecure about aerial dominance.
So it turns his
So-
flying boots to the side to hide the wings.
All right, so now that we're out of combat,
I
Were we-
never ever get to hit anything.
Were we ever in combat?
You mean? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. All of y'all got a turn. I didn't get a turn. I don't want to hear about you not getting to hit nothing.
You've been standing around confused the whole time, Chip. It's, like...
Hold on, I'm last
I didn't
in
get to hit
initiative.
anything.
No, I'm like, my character goes to, like, draw his weapon, and before he can even, like, pull it up to go, everything's dead.
so as the last Vargle dies between your feet, Venlee and Avvina, instantly the control returns to your body and your muscles release, and the stiff tension you had from being stunned and frightened melts away. And you guys stand in.
and it was awful.
I'm pretty sure that it's at this point Mel just sort of lets out a breath and leans on that lever.
Yes. So you lean on the rightmost lever where you stand, and
It's actually the left. It was the northmost to the left.
so you would be at this lever here.
Yeah, that's what I rolled earlier randomly.
Okay, that's fine.
Was that left-hand lever to the left.
So you walk
whatever that
you
does.
walk over there and stretch out, and then you lean back against the panel, placing your elbow on the ball-handled top of this metal lever handle that protrudes from this instrument panel. And as you lean on it, your form slumps in, and you just sag to your knees and put your body weight against it. And when you do, all of you hear a strange clattering noise in the distance, and a reeling and clicking, and then a metal sound grinding. And the northern path opens up as you see a stone slab wall riveted with a metal plate at four corners begins to slide up and disappear into the recess of the ceiling of the doorway above it. And I'll go ahead and unfog some stuff for you. So that's what you would get.
Here comes the big giant creature. That's it.
So everybody in the room would clearly hear this rumbling, grinding, and the door opening as it shudders and pulls up through the stonework, clearly having not been opened for a little while, and maybe weathered and corroded by the acrid air and wet conditions of the sewer and cistern. What do you guys want to do?
I want to cast Silent Image to make it look like the stone door is still there, so that nobody notices what I did.
So Mel's illusion appears in the place where the door was, and is quite convincing.
It's not at all convincing. It's got like mosaics on it. It's sort of like
the scribbled
like bright
most
colors
inner
and
workings
stuff,
of
and-
Mel's
Does it
thoughts.
have graffiti on it? Too?
Yeah, it does.
Is it your
It's all
very
like
own-
It just looks like a crayon drawing.
Yeah. It's Mel, the Banksy edition. It says Mel. It says Pump was here. All right. So what are you guys doing? I see Jaren's doing some perception, looking around. I mean, you would notice that there's this rippling magical illusion of a stone doorway to the north.
Yeah, and it was clearly open for a couple of seconds, and Mel went,
Oh shit! Let me
what?
take
Nope.
care of that. We can't have any doors.
Harvey,
I
can
guess-
Harvey go pull the other lever?
Yeah, sure. Do what you want. So just round robin, y'all take turns. Jaren, what are you doing?
Well, I was gonna pull the lever. Mel, will you pull the other lever?
I'm gonna pull all four doors open at once. All right.
Do it.
Jeez.
All right. So as everybody grabs a lever around the room and pulls them,
Oh, the lever's drunk.
What the fuck are y'all doing?
something
I'm
but I'm getting
getting
out of the
attacked
room.
by everything all at once,
Something
I think. Yeah.
awesome.
Jesus.
So the domed like room that you all stand in, being very acoustic in nature, begins to echo out with just this unimaginably loud rumbling sound as stonework and steel grind against each other, and these riveted metal doors open to the west and to the east as well. And I'll go ahead and unfog some stuff again. You bastards.
I'm gonna roll a stealth.
Oh yeah, Harvey's definitely gonna do some scouting too.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not doing scouting. I'm just trying to hide.
We
Y'all
don't-
open every fucking door open at one time. Oh, that didn't work.
Sure, Happy. Why don't you come right in the room with the rest of us? Yeah.
All right, so now your options are north, south, east, west, as these doorways have opened.
Who wants
Which
to roll
ones
a
have the
D-
highest?
Harvey, you're pretty sneaky right now, and Venlee, you can re-roll stealth with luck from Sonata.
Nah, I don't like that stuff.
Okay.
Who wants
I can
to
also
roll a
cast
I
D-
do
Master
like
Without a
this though.
Trace.
Look, it's a regular Oreo with 3 wafers.
What the hell? Is that a factory mistake? You
Yep.
should sell it like the Pokemon Oreo.
That's insane.
All right, so I want to make sure everybody gets some screen time. So Venlee, you were trying to be stealthy. Harvey, you were being stealthy. Venlee, what are you doing? Having held the action to attack the next thing that came near you or someone within range, you're still on your toes and sensing danger around you, with Uni close by and Avvina near. You see and hear these doors open up around the circular-shaped room.
I was actually I'll duck back in the hallway,
All right.
trying to hide.
All right, so you crouch down, get low into the shadows, and you pull Uni close.
No, I turn Uni goes invisible.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So she disappears, and you just see like a glittering image across from you, kind of like the invisibility cloak in Harry Potter. Avvina, what are you doing real quick?
Venlee, would you like to scout ahead with me?
Who,
It
me?
doesn't seem like anything's immediately attacking us, which is surprising, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'll rush in when I need to. I can pretty much get across this whole room at once.
I'll scout ahead with you if you want. I'm on my boom.
You're not quite that stealthy.
I'm on my boom.
Broom twins.
You have a broom?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, well, this is the first time you would see this, demonic hell fiend clad armored Jaren atop a strange spindly wooden broom. A very old, antiqued, and creaky looking broom. Roll me an
Well, that
insight
looks
check as you look at it.
Okay.
Chip, let me check in with you. Chip, what are you doing? Happy, what are you doing?
Happy's going to send Bob down to the east to check out that corridor.
Okay. So you can go ahead and move the token for me to where you want it to go.
Okay.
20 insight.
I mean, he's going to proceed cautiously, and unless there's a reason to stop, he'll go down.
All right. So Bob floats down the corridor, comes to the end, and is faced with a metal door with a turn crank handle. Chip, are you doing anything? Are you there?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm gonna. Is Harvey flying or is Harvey like just walking around?
I was gonna get to Harvey in just a minute. So, Harvey, did you move into that room?
Oh yeah.
All right. So pause for the cause real quick there. I'll get to you. Chip, what are you doing?
I would be following Harvey, and I'd turn back around and I'd say to everybody, well, I guess we're splitting up, and then I'll follow Arthas.
Okay, before we go any further, Happy is once per long rest, she can catch a ritual spell with just a regular action. She's going to cast Telepathic Bond that can link up to 8 willing creatures psychically.
Nice.
And so that catches Uni and all of us for 1 hour.
I like it.
I'm
So
gonna
the
roll.
psychic bond lets you all communicate.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
I'm going to roll for willingness.
Mel continues to resist.
We're going to have opposed rolls. What are you rolling, buddy?
I guess I'm not enthusiastic, but I'm willing. That's
I
fine.
can just message you anyway. Unless you just don't want to listen to them. If you want to opt out,
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'd have to roll really low to opt out. I'm good.
you've already got a head full of voices anyway. Like adding these 7, it's not really over the you know.
Drop into bucket.
Avvina's gonna call out telepathically to Chip real quick. Come here for a moment.
Well, that's not creepy.
He'll turn around and walk towards her. Oh no.
So as you begin to walk away, go ahead.
She's going to reach inside her bag and pull out the strength potion of some sort. I've been meaning to give you this, but you've been an asshole. Take it.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
That was
I appreciate it. Sorry that I've been an asshole. I have a lot of trust issues with people I don't know, and
Understandable.
magic is
You're smart not to trust me.
Yeah, thank you. Most people tend to.
Can you give her?
trust.
Can you give Avvina inspiration for that? Because that was like.
I'm sure she has it. She just hasn't even used it. Y'all might have
any?
I would say just for the
I don't
sake
think
of,
so.
I think everyone gets inspiration. That's what I'm gonna do because y'all have been great to pass.
You get inspiration.
I already had it.
I didn't. Thank you, DM.
Just try to lighten up a little. I know you're going through things.
things. He just found out his brother was a boggle. Yeah, he's going through things.
All right, so let me get to Harvey real quick. So Harvey,
Won't be back.
all right, so as Harvey moves into the western room, you feel something strange reach up and wrap around your leg.
Now I'm pretty stealthy.
Oh shoot, that's right. I forgot you rolled 29 on your fracking stealth. Hold on, give me 1 second here. You mother.
Passive perception's
Yeah. All right. Never mind.
19.
Never mind.
Passive perception is a 19 to DM. Just to point out.
Okay. All right.
So
Cool.
Harvey's just gonna quickly just dart in, flap in, very quietly.
All right. So as you float into the room, hovering above the floor, you look around, and give me 1 second. You are faced with a corner that wraps around to the south, and another door. This time with a metal crank handle as well, but 8 spoke-like handles protrude from the ring of the metal crank handle. And this door is a thick steel plate that goes edge to edge, almost seamless. And illuminating in the oil lamp that lights the room and flickers, you notice on the floor a reflection. It's a strange rainbow array of colors that pools up and floats in globules.
Do you have any idea what that is? Can I do like a history or something like that? Figure that out.
Nature or Arcana?
Do a lava lamp check.
A lava lamp check.
Yeah.
These big steel vault doors seems like something we should really open up.
I wonder where all the water comes from.
All at one time.
Would you say this is a natural hazard or
Does
12?
anyone have underwater
All
Can I
right.
breathing
guidance
just
that?
as an off
Can I
chance?
guidance that?
Yeah, sure. Or you could use luck or one of the other things in the chat that was redeemed.
It's a 3, so 15.
All right. So with your 15, you're not fully aware of what this is, but in your time in the Feywild and just generally traveling about, seeking one adventure after the other and one food destination after the other, going into a few grimy seaport towns, you've been warned that in the lowest places where water and muck and grime and the sluice of sewage and waste collects, the rumors of strange ooze-like creatures. The sailors had shared stories about slipping into mud puddles and being devoured alive. And that's all you know.
Oh, yeah, it's a ooze. So so it doesn't react or anything like that. I'm just going to fly over to the door.
All right, so you float over the door with your stealth, and you look at this crank handle and steel door. Chip, you're behind Harvey as he announces there's an ooze.
Where?
Right in front of you.
Like right here?
Yeah.
Did DM put it on the
Mhm.
map?
Somewhere around there.
Is like Harvey floating in the air, like flying in the air? How
Yeah.
high? How
Yeah.
high off the ground?
He's about 5 feet off the ground.
High enough,
Son of a
sir.
bitch.
High enough.
Taps my heels together
He's
and
had at least a half a joint.
flies up off the ground as well.
So when you click your boots together, you rise up off the ground, and you see in the floor this reflective, clear liquid, and it starts to move in the glow of the oil lantern light, and you just hear it kind of like slurping and squishing. And it starts to sort of gather and collect itself in the middle as little protrusions of sticky, slime-like gack fingers shoot up out of the floor, feeling around in the air.
All right, well, I'm definitely going to go like 5 to 6 feet off the ground and just kind of float there, and then pull out my glaive and just like pokey stab this thing from afar.
All right. So go ahead and make your attack.
Should I only make one? I mean, I get like
We're out of combat at this point, so whatever your attacks would allow you to do.
I think I get like 4 attacks. Let me just double check.
4.
Or attack.
2 attacks per action. I get 2 attacks, and then I can, as a bonus action,
Action
get an
surge.
attack, and then I can also action
Oh, yeah.
sedge.
Oh, is that the polearm thing where you get a butt attack?
Yeah.
So you can hit it twice with the blade and then sit on it?
Yep.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna make 1.
Hope you didn't like that
That's a
glaive.
21. It's magical. It's okay.
Oh.
I was actually looking that up, and then I was like, alrighty.
2,
Smart thinking, Abe Lincoln.
15. So hopefully a 15 hits.
I believe it does.
Alright.
It does.
And I'm not action surge just yet, so I'm gonna bonus action bap with the butt of the glaive for 15
Okay.
to hit.
Also hits.
So
So at this point, 3 attacks have all connected and hit.
1, 2. Ooh, that's 16 points of damage. That's 8 points of damage.
Is the butt a different
And
damage?
then the butt of the it's
Yeah.
1d4 plus 5. And that is 7 points of damage.
Nice. So as you take Harvey's cue and warning and click your boots of flying together and float up off the ground, you
Let me check
slash.
something.
Go ahead.
Does boots of flying? We get boots. Does that take an action?
Yeah, but I don't really care. It's okay. We'll let it go because we're not in combat. And this thing hasn't perceived y'all's,
Oh no, it doesn't. So literally, you just activate it, and like it's basically as your movement. You basically just say you clack your heels together.
Yeah, just move as usual.
Yep. And you just basically your walking speed, well, your flying speed is equal to your walking speed.
So like a legendary Viking Valkyrie floating in the air with your winged boots, you swing out and twirl the glaive around in a series of slashes against the puddle of ooze on the floor, sending bits of it splattering against the walls and scattered across the floor as the remainder of it fizzles and drains down the floor into a metal grate, which fizzles and begins to erode away.
Nice.
What legendary Vikings do you know? Most of them I've met haven't danced daintily upon the air.
The Valkyries. The Valkyries.
Oh, those ones.
Yeah, the Valkyries are
Yeah.
winged
Valkyries.
warriors.
I'll
Winged
give you
warriors.
that.
Yeah, he's like floating there like a chip fucking pixie with a giant ass metal swipey thing.
Well, I hope he's wearing a chainmail bikini.
Hey guys.
What's up, homebrew?
Homebrew. Hey.
All
Hey
right.
guys.
So, Jaren, Harvey, you were looking at the door. Chip, you thwarted the near-death
Welcome,
experience of a gray ooze that was waiting here, clearly maybe laid as a trap for you. And let's pause with you guys for a minute, circle back around to everybody. Let's check in. Happy Venlee, what are y'all doing?
Well, I think Happy would like to know what Bob sees over on the other side.
All right, so you close your eyes for a moment and you quiet your mind and focus in on the psychic connection you have with Bob, your spell book. And the mental image changes and projects right before your eyes as that clarity comes through. Bob looks around and he just sees a nondescript stone corridor with this door being opened and receded into the ceiling 10 feet above, and this iron door with rivets and hinges and the circle crank handle in the middle, closed and locked firm tightly. Stone tiles, the room is 10 feet wide by 25 feet long. And roll a perception check for Bob.
Just out of curiosity, how does Happy quiet her mind when she has 6 other people in it plus all my imaginary friends?
40 years on Earth working in a noisy kitchen will give you some zen-like moments.
Yeah, I was just
I
about
think she
to
might
say.
have trained in like transcendental meditation. She probably visited like Maharishi Mahesh with the Beatles.
I did a lot of drugs with the Grateful Dead tour. As
Oh
well.
yeah, you know.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
That's a great. That was a great answer. Take an inspiration, DM.
That's
Can I get
awesome
my
because
side for that
because Sonata gave me disadvantage, so that's gonna help me out. You dastardly viewers, you.
Can I take a guidance on that perception check?
Absolutely.
It's a D, which is not fantastic. Any port? 3, so that's a 17.
All right. So as Happy, as you continue to scan through Bob, he looks about the room, and the only thing he really notices is that there are a series of stone tiles in the floor that don't match the color or pattern of the other stone tiles.
Okay.
About midway into the corridor.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and let everybody know that there's a steel door with a crank in here, and that it looks like maybe there's a trap or something interesting going on the floor. but no immediate danger.
So you hear Happy's voice echo out psychically, and at first it's kind of like pushing through the fog of each of your, chaotic, meandering minds, especially you, Mel. And almost like Link and his little pixie, you get the like, hey, listen, like pierces through the complete noise, and you hear Happy's voice chime out, and she says, Bob sees stuff to the east. There's a trap on the floor, and another door at the end of the corridor.
I'll go up to the front of the east door.
I feel like
you want to leave Uni with me then?
Uni's invisible, so it doesn't matter.
I feel like everybody like all of a sudden would hear like ooze 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 ooze. Ooze. Oh, it's dead.
Oh, that's right. Oh no, we're all in Chip's head too.
Yeah, you all voluntarily put glasses in your head too.
You know what?
I forgot he was here.
All right. So Venlee, you go over to the open doorway
Voluntarily.
on the eastern side of the room, and you look down the corridor and see exactly what Bob's described, and you notice Bob floating there, hovering about 5 feet out from the doorway, with his magic glowing aura of purple partially illuminating the dark room. Although with dark vision, you can pick out the details fairly clearly. And you do see in the center of the corridor 4 strange stone tiles that don't match the others.
All right, I can make it about here. That'd be 50 feet.
I mean, we're out of combat, so if you want to use full move, you can move about freely.
I will, so I know there's a trap there.
There's something strange there about those floor tiles.
I will, what do I do? Perception first?
Well, no, because they were revealed to you by Bob and through Happy, you see them plain as day now. So you don't have to perceive them, but you can investigate them, yes.
Yeah, I want to do an investigation.
All right.
Oh, shoot. Come on. I'll do an investigation.
You're good at those, aren't you?
Check for traps. I hope so.
Yeah, Venlee's got a +10 for investigation.
All right, so you immediately notice that these 4 stone tiles located in the middle of the room are about 1/4 of an inch higher up than the other stone tiles. They're also fairly new. They don't have any noticeable wear or erosion from footfall or water, and there seems to be a bit of a crack where some soil and dust has gathered around the edges. And looking a little bit closer, you see underneath the crack where some of the dust and debris collects around the mortared edge of these new stone tiles, a series of mechanical brass cogs and a spring.
Okay, I'll tell Harvey this, and then I'm going to run on the ceiling, run on the walls, run on the ceiling, and then drop back down and go to the front door.
All right.
Because I can do that.
Yeah, you wall walk with your Shadowfell Fate and your monk ability, and just completely like half pipe that shit Tony Hawk style and loop-de-loo around the wall to avoid the trap. And you stand at the metal door with the central steel crank handle.
And then I want to see, just the last thing I'm gonna do is just see if I can hear anything behind the door.
All right, yeah. So you put your ear to the door. Roll me perception.
Oh, please be good. Please be good.
And then we'll circle around to Jaren and Avvina.
That is not good. That's a 12.
All right. So with your 12, as you press your ear to this thick metal door, it's so thick that it muffles out a lot of the noise behind it, and it's sealed quite tightly around the edges. But beyond the dulling resistance of the metal and the general hum of pumps and water moving through the walls and the pipeworks, you do pick up on a low droning sound, and you hear this strange
Oh god!
And then it fades out.
That sounds great. I'll pass on the information about the springs and wires on the floor, and then also the horrible sound I just heard behind this door. Since we're all connected.
Since it's related, would you mind if, like, real quick, I went before Jaren?
That's fine. Go for it.
Cool. So having gotten all of this, like, cumulative information, and with all the confusing things in his head, and since the door to this door was kind of like nearest, and this is where Bob went in. Mel goes in here and says, "Wait, I know this one. I've been playing D&D since 1979." And he reaches into a pocket and slowly pulls out, sort of like a magician, a 10-foot pole, and whacks one of those things.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
And I will let you now move on to Jared, and we can resolve that later.
Why did you?
So, all right, we're going to...
What are you whacking? I missed it.
All right. He just completely... He walloped a stone tile with a 10-foot pole.
All the while, Pump behind him is like, "No!" and trying to stop him.
So as Mel pulls out his collapsible cartoon bamboo roof jumping pole, and Bruce Lee style, like, kung fu whacks the floor with it, the 4 stone tiles.
It's only because you were in there, Wes.
The 4 oh my groceries. So the 4
I'm being good tonight.
So the 4 stone tiles erupt from the floor, and they just spray out in shattered shrapnel. Bob and Venlee and Mel, I need all of y'all to roll a dex saving throw.
Yeah.
And as these stone tiles are just exploded out in this 20-foot radius, a series of spikes shoots up from the ground, narrowly missing Bob.
And so Bob is, you said a dex save?
Yeah.
Isn't he incorporeal?
Generally he is. Sometimes,
God.
since we did that whole blood gravits thing, sometimes he is corporeal, but I think for the most part he is not. So.
Thank fucking God.
Yeah, good saves. Y'all pass your saves. So as the mortar of these newly stoned laid tiles shatters as the spikes thrust up from the floor with a great explosive force, the bits of concrete hit y'all in the face and body and just kind of clatter to the ground innocuously, while the bigger pieces, bounce off the ceiling and the walls nearby, avoiding you.
Okay, check off 1 10-foot pole for my robo useful items.
And then moving through this area is going to be considered difficult terrain now, as the spikes partially obscure your path, and they go to about 5 feet shallow of the ceiling. So let's circle around to Avvina and Jaren. You all stand at the north corridor, the door newly opened. Somebody's breathing real heavy on their mic.
I think we would check it. Jaren would go in and check it out.
All right, so Jaren, as you move in, go ahead, Avvina, sorry.
Hold on a moment. Avvina's
who's
going
breathing?
to...
Thomas, are you breathing on the mic?
Yes.
Get a room, dude. Just get a room.
You get disadvantage, and you get disadvantage.
I'll mute myself.
Heavy breathing.
I got it snorted.
So if my passive perception is higher than my perception roll,
That's fine. So here's at it again. Get him.
Can we just explore this last room and then find something to kill?
We're good.
I'll fucking mute you.
I was going to say I have passed without a trace, though.
Nice.
Good, yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
So
my passive is 24. Oh, there's a passageway.
So as you round the corner, you notice the passageway lined by 3 doors, one you stand in front of, and a corner that wraps around to the north.
So I would transmit this information.
And also with your perception, you and Avvina would hear a low grumbling noise coming from a northwestern direction, and the noise is kind of just a low droning as well.
So I guess I would turn to Avvina and I'd be like, "Want to go back to the rest of the party?" Like, what?
No, I'm sure they're recklessly and abandoned. Going through the rest of this dungeon with a reckless abandon. Just try to be quiet.
Okay.
So everybody's kind of split up at this point. We've got Harvey and Chip at the door, thick steel door in the room with the drain and the now deceased gray ooze. We've got Venlee and Bob hanging out in the eastern corridor on the opposite side of a newly triggered spike trap in the floor. And then to the north, we have Avvina and Jaren exploring a new corridor in a room with strange sounds.
It only took us one room to split the party three ways.
What kind of... Did you tell us what kind of doors that they are that we have up top?
So the three doors that you all are presented with are wooden doors with standard wrought iron latch type handles. And at the top of each of the doors is a small peep window that could be opened from the other side or potentially forced open and slid from the outside by reaching your finger through the little small eye hole.
Going forward, my passive is 28, by the way.
Can I poke my glaive into one of the eye holes?
I mean, your glaive is probably bigger than what the eye hole would be for this door. But if you want to attack the door, you can. But
I just want to look in. Do I hear anything on the other side of the door?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of gave that to you guys already. Both of you hear this low groaning noise with your perception.
You said it was coming from the northwest corner, though.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I didn't know if that was coming from around the corner or behind it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely behind one of these three doors.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna end my turn.
Avvina, what are you doing real quick?
She's going to go to this door. Is it locked?
Go ahead and try the handle.
I will.
So as you go to turn the handle,
try to handle.
As you go to turn the handle, it resists and is locked.
Okay. Can I check for traps?
Roll me an investigation check.
There's something on this other side holding the handle.
I am less good at investigation, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, with your 15, there's no traps on the door as you scan around the door jamb and where the latch would meet the framework of the stoneway where it is secured.
Okay. She will slip a set of thieves' stools out of her sleeve and just start trying to unlock it.
Okay. So go ahead and roll for that for me. Proficiency plus, I think, dex or sleight of hand.
Yeah.
And since we're not in combat, Jaren would just back her up. Yeah.
Let's see.
Whatever comes through the door.
I'll just roll a dexterity.
And then add your proficiency to it.
Yeah, so that's 19.
All right. So you slip the set of spanners into the lock and then take one of the tumbler tools and begin to push it into the crude lock below the door handle. And as you start to fuss with the lock, you find the spot where the tumblers align with the shackle, and you're able to turn the door handle.
Before I open it, do we want to try and see what's in there beforehand?
to you.
Can she get the... She's going to attempt to get the peephole open first.
At the top of the door?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, describe to me how you're going to try to open the peephole.
Can she use her thieves' tools to gently pry it open?
Yeah, so you reach down into the kit and you would pull kind of like a flat-bladed screwdriver out of the kit. And you stick that into the wooden plate where around it is the guard that's kind of cut almost like a birdhouse opening, like the hole in the front of a birdhouse. And so you kind of jab the flathead-like instrument into it and start to try to slide it back to move this little wooden panel to the right or the left to open the peephole. Okay. And you're able to open the peephole and look into the room. And as you look into the room,
I get shot in the eye and die.
Oh wait, sorry, I revealed too much. My bad. Let me hide that right quick.
I missed
Look
it.
away! Look away!
I didn't see it.
I didn't see anything either.
All right,
That's
there
fine.
you go. So you look through the peephole and you see a seemingly empty room, but on the floor is a cast shadow of a humanoid figure. And you continue to hear the low groaning sound.
Well, the groaning's coming from this one, so I'm gonna leave that closed for a moment.
Okay.
She's going to go do the same to each of these doors. At least to the people.
All right. So you also use your tool to slide back the peephole and take a look inside. And this room is empty, aside from a golden statue that sits on the floor illuminated with candles and some incense.
And this one?
And then this one, you slide the peephole back. Oh, hold on 1 second. Let me hide something here. You slide the peephole back, and you notice laying in the bed with the covers pulled over it is a humanoid-looking body with its back turned to you, laying on its side, and so you can make out the shoulder and profile of the back of a male humanoid.
Let's do the... I'm gonna try and unlock, or see if this one's locked and try and unlock the empty one.
All right, so you reach your hand down to the handle in front of you at the middle room. This door is not locked. It turns easily and the door opens unimpeded.
Okay. She's going to go over to the statue and not mess with anything, but she wants to see if she recognizes it.
All right. So you go ahead and investigate. Go ahead and roll me a history check.
History. Religion?
Or religion, yeah. If you have religion, that's better.
It's a big difference. It's still shit.
All right. So with your 11, you look at the strange golden statue resting on the floor and what seems to be a makeshift altar with some incense that is not currently burning, but an incense basin with some remnants of burned incense. You look at this golden statue and its crude form and sculpt. The only thing you're able to pick up is that it is witch and fae in nature.
She'll take the incense and touch her finger to the tips and light it, and then put it back.
All right, so you move into the room to light the incense and place it in the bowl?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you light the incense and place it down into the bowl, the golden statue illuminates, and it has a... it's kind of like an image that shudders and the statue begins to like vibrate a little bit and put off like a weird, almost mechanical or alien-like hum sound. Like, hum, 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 hum.
Oh, that's interesting.
And Jaren, with your passive perception, you would see Avvina lighting the statue, or lighting the incense and placing it at the base of the statue, and you too would notice the statue start to vibrate and shift, and then hear the mechanical like hum.
Would Gazet have any idea what the statue is?
Are you asking him?
Yeah.
So you ask the question to Grazit. Now, mind you, you're psychically linked to Happy right now, so
Yep.
everyone is going to hear this.
Yep.
So
Go for it.
Okay.
Grazit responds to you and says, "I was waiting for you to ask." You would think she would know, or at least remember. Why, that golden statue's a part of her lineage. Yes, that's right. I said lineage, witch.
Oh God, shut up.
And Grazit stops playing games and he says, "I'll just be direct. That's an altar to Baba Yaga."
Oh, gross. She's gonna knock the statue over.
So you kick the statue over and snuff out the incense, and the statue ceases vibrating and settles, and the aura emanating from it dies. And when you do so, Grazit laughs maniacally. Oh, I like her. I really like her.
But Jaren looks at Avvina and he's like, and very seriously, he's like, "Are you related to Baba Yaga?"
I would hope not.
And when you say that, Jaren, you get cut short as Grazit comes through again and says, "All witches are daughters of Baba Yaga." All witches are daughters of Baba Yaga.
Yeah, be quiet now, okay?
You just
Well, it
shush
might be
Grazit.
valuable.
Yeah, we'll see how he feels about that in a little while.
I mean,
Yeah.
I did that
No
before.
one else being shushed.
I did that before, but I'm not contracted to him, so I can do whatever I want.
Let me know if you want Happy to sing some reggae doing.
Well, it might be valuable. She'll pick up the statue and hand it to Jaren. I don't want it.
When you reach down to grab the statue and lift it from the ground, your hand begins to wither and turns blackened.
Shit.
Ow.
Cursed.
She'll let go.
As you let go of the statue, some of the life returns to your skin, and it becomes somewhat more pallid.
That's doable. I'll fix that later.
All right.
Yeah, so Jaren asked Avvina if she can remove the curse herself, which he assumes that she.
Not today.
All right. Let me pause with you guys real quick and circle back around. So let's get over to Chip and Harvey. You guys stand in the room with the sewer drain in the floor. The gray ooze has dissolved it with its acidic nature. And before you is a thick metal door with an 8-spoked turn handle crank and a flickering oil lamp.
Yeah, is that a door or something that can be broken into with some thieves' tools?
You can certainly try.
All right, what do you want me to roll for that?
roll your. I always get mess up on this. I think it's just dexterity modifier plus your proficiency, right? Or sleight of hand plus proficiency.
It's dex plus proficiency, and at a certain level, you get to double your proficiency.
Yeah.
Well, if you specialize in it, but, like, is there a keyhole in this thing, or is it just like a vault door with a big crank on it?
It's basically
No.
it's
use Thieves' Tools. That's what we're doing.
It is a vault door with a big crank handle on it, but he could use Thieves' Tools to try to interact with.
I would
locking
probably guidance that too, right?
that's fine.
So
1.
18.
Yeah. So with an 18, you look about the 8-spoked crank handle, and you run your winged fingertips along the edges. You take out the mirror in your kit and try to slide it under the door, and you can just barely fit the head of the mirror under the door. And you can't quite see through it because you're not able to twist and angle the handle to get another view inside. But what you see in the mirror is a blindingly bright golden reflection that glitters and flickers. And as you move back to standing on your feet again, and you look around the edges of the door once again, you trace your view back to the center of the crank handle, and you notice that in the middle of the crank handle is a dial with a series of numbers.
Okay. So there's no breaking into this thing, getting to the numbers, huh?
You could attempt to, yeah.
Well, how about scooping up the acidic body of the dead ooze and smearing it on the hinges of the door?
So you want to collect some of the acid?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it to you. Do you have a container to put it in, or are you going to pick it up with your hands?
Oh, I'm not picking it up with my hands.
Would it be specious if I made the joke Polly want a safe cracker?
Y'all
God damn it.
are dumb. That's so.
Oh, that was wonderful, dumb though. That
Oh
was
my
really...
gosh, that's so great. Polly want a safe cracker.
Oh, that's good. That's really fucking good.
All right, so tell me how you're gathering the acid.
Harvey's gonna look for like a flat piece of wood or a rock or something like that. Just kind of scoop it up and just gloop it on, you know?
All right, so you reach down to collect a loose bit of mortar from a stone tile where it's chipped away and been decayed by the acid. And still fizzling, you manage to, kind of shake some of the acid loosely against the stem of the turn crank where it meets the face of the steel door, and it begins to fizzle. As you put your hand against the turn crank, you get a initial turn and the sensation of metal grinding metal as it begins to give and then kind of catches, but you still feel like there's a little bit of play.
All right. Harvey's going to turn to Jaren and be like, all right, Jaren, let's pull this fucking door down, mate.
You mean Chip?
Chip.
Oh, yeah. It's all right. It's all right. I mean, Chip.
I mean,
you look a lot alike.
All those humans look alike, yeah.
Yeah, we all. Yeah, whatever. Right. I hope.
So Chip, you
you didn't have different color feathers like we do, you know. So
you float forward and you see Harvey making excuses for his bird hands.
Does anybody else having a problem understanding anything that Harvey's saying in his brain? Like, am I this cubby over here? Because it's like half the stuff he's saying is just half of it sounds like bird squawk, and the other is like mixed signals. Things being thrown around. Look, I'm just gonna pull this. Is this a lever? Is this what you want me to pull? I'm gonna pull this. Okay.
Yeah,
you stand over there.
Mike.
So the two.
I am not your mate. You're a
together,
bird. Mike. You're a bird. I'm a man. It will not work.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do it together. I always do it.
No, we're not going to do it together. Okay, we're two
all
individuals.
Right, you do it. Fine.
We're two individuals. We're two individuals.
I'm gonna go smoke.
I'm gonna
go smoke a bowl. You do it then. All right.
Chip, you vouch to do it by yourself, and you go to turn the crank. Roll me a strength check.
It's like Australian, so he's a bird. So he's like, all right.
Roll a strength check for me, Chip.
Sorry, I had to explain everything to my wife. My wife's like, "Do I have to fuck somebody up?"
Roll me a strength check real quick.
Love that description of Harvey's self-talk. That was pretty impressive.
Did you roll a strength check? Strength check for me?
No, I did not. Sorry.
Yeah.
Harvey's going to guidance that on you, by the way. So
Okay.
guidance.
Is it strength save or
Not your
It's a
main.
strength check. A strength check.
You can't get into chat.
All right, cool.
30-20, and then guidance is a D4?
Yep.
Guidance only skills.
Yeah, guidance.
Ability check. Skill is an ability check.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then I can't do nothing.
So with your
You can add a D4.
You're
So
fine.
it'd be
I do?
22. 22.
Alright.
I already rolled it.
Okay, cool.
Harvey, I rolled it.
So you feel a new emboldened confidence, and you reach down with one hand, Chip, and your massive woodcutter's palms.
Hey guys, I gotta take a break real quick.
You're fine. I'm just gonna describe it to the viewers real quick. His massive hands reach down and grab, haphazardly over the crank, and 2 of the 8 spokes go between a finger as he just kind of, disregards how he grips the handle and basically just muscles it off. Where the acid had dissolved the tumbler, it twists free and snaps off, and the other end of the turn crank that goes through the floor actually pushes out the backside of the door and clatters to the ground, and the gold gleaming color now bursts through the hole in the door and glitters and flickers, illuminating the room that you're in now with this golden glow that overpowers the light of the oil lamp.
Well, point of order.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Harvey was trying to get the acid onto the hinges of the doors, the outer edges of the door, to eat through the.
There's no hinges on the door. It actually slides into the stonework. When I described it earlier, this door is like a vault door, like Mel said. It's sealed edge to edge, so you were basically barely able to get the mirror underneath because it's such a tight fit. So that if you would have put acid against the edges, it would have just etched into the metal and dripped down the sides of the door. So I basically gave it to you. I mean, the door is unlocked at this point, but just in like cartoon silliness, the door handle falls off.
We push it open.
So as you push open the door,
that's why I didn't catch when I said, "Oh, what could possibly be behind this big vault door?"
So as you push open the door, the largest hoard of treasure either of you have ever seen in your lives is piled up in the center of this room and spilling out in all 4 directions, and is mounded about 4 feet up in the center.
Now we're in the middle of the sewers, though, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, this seems normal.
Yeah, this checks out.
Is there enough room for a dragon in there? I don't.
That's another game.
So since Tommy is okay, real quick, Jaren's just gonna cast Remove Curse on Avvina's hand.
Okay.
I was gonna say, Chip would like slap Harvey's his right shoulder and be like, "Looks like we've got all the drinking money we need."
Oh yeah, that's because you normally find big giant piles of fucking gold in the fucking sewers. Strange, yeah, right?
Are you thinking this in
Like
your head?
like literally like Chip just starts stuttering and just says right, just to like agree with him.
Well, no, you guys would all hear this chatter because of everybody's psychic link.
No,
so you all hear the banterings of Chip and Harvey shit talking each other over the pile of gold. All right. So
he just talks so fast with his accent that like Chip's just like,
I love it.
It's like I don't understand you. Slow down.
Yeah, he's just like being
Harvey's
slapped in the face.
I don't speak Fey.
Hold up, Chip. Hold up.
I'm not shit.
Hold up.
I'm not shit.
Harvey reaches into his pack. All right, Chip, you got a stick or something? I think like a stick.
A snick?
A stick.
Oh, stick. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I need like a stick or something.
The closest thing you would have to a stick would be your glaive.
All right, we need like This is very suspicious. So you gotta poke the pile of gold with your stick.
I go over
You
and
gotta poke
There
stab
the
is
pile of gold.
somebody
gold.
just outside with a 10-foot pole, but
Oh, is
that
there?
may be too far to go.
I'm gonna say out loud, like not in my head. I'm gonna say, "Can I get some help over here? Does anybody have any like detect magic stuff?"
No, mate, just poke it with your stick. We had this
You
friend of
know-
ours named Kevin back in the day,
Jaren answers
know?
that he can help.
and he always
if you
carried
want.
around his stick.
Where?
Yeah, it was
Why am I
Kevin's
hearing everybody in
So
my head?
Harvey, roll me a persuasion check as you try to convince Chip to poke the gold with the stick.
Harvey's great at that. Yeah.
Now you know how
It's
we.
gonna be a 9 minus 1, so 8.
No. So you're not so convincing, and even though Chip is not the smartest woodcutter in the woods, he's not quite jiving with your plan of poke the gold
He's
pile.
probably the smartest woodcutter in the woods.
It's not my
thank
plan,
you.
mate. It's not my plan. It's my friend Kevin from back in the day.
Look,
Chip hears
look.
you say Kevin back in the day, and he mistakenly hears it Kevin back up and die. And he's like, wait a minute, your friend Kevin died?
Kevin. No, well, I mean, that was later, but, he had always carried his stick. It was Kevin's stick.
All right, let me pause with you guys. Let me
Harvey, what happened to Kevin?
Let me pause with you guys for just a minute so I can get to Venlee and
Yeah, he's
Happy.
had mushrooms.
Stop.
20 minutes later.
All right. So Happy and Venlee, let's check in with you guys. Happy, what are you doing? You're hearing and picking up on all this radio chatter through your psychic bond, and you're still only really seeing through the eyes of Bob and what you see looking at the top of the stairs at the circular room.
I just look at Mel and I go, you butthole. Can I? Well, I guess. Do you want to come up, Happy?
If we feel comfortable that nothing's gonna sneak up this back door, I guess I could. I can come up, and we can send Bob to watch the door, right?
Well, I was gonna say, can you send Bob through the door?
I think he's incorporeal. DM, can I send Bob through?
Yeah, I'll say that once every 24 hours you can pass him through material obstruction at least 3 times. And
I
then
just
it has
didn't know if you had to be
recharges.
like somewhat close.
We're still kind of figuring out the.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're pretty far away.
Yeah, I mean, I think, at this point out of game, it would be safe for you to move into the room.
Okay.
There's nothing that's going to come at you from the other direction out of game. Like, just heads up. You guys came in there's only one way in, so unless there's monsters roaming about freely in the town, they're not getting to you because they'd have to come through the same cistern door that you guys were in at the pump house.
Okay. I'm just very suspicious.
Also, no more traps.
There's a positive to triggering spike traps in front of your friend.
That's all in one. Mel, that's pretty impressive. Did you get that all in one go?
I heard a rumor that somebody else needs a big stick somewhere. I'm gonna go find them.
Well,
So do you want to send Bob through the door?
yeah, I want to say, Mel, hang on a second. Let's see what we got over some Bob through the door. I'm not sure. Mel should go over, and he and Harvey should be the same members of that party. That's
I want to back up a bit.
Now the spikes are going up to 5 feet close to the ceiling. So if
you can move in between them, but just mind you that there's a pit in the floor that's 10 feet deep, and these spikes protrude up through the pit in the floor. So, you could climb down into the pit and navigate through the network of spikes, which would be difficult terrain, and then climb back up out of the pit, or you could find a way to sort of hold on to them and shimmy around the wall, or find a way to float yourself above them magically.
Can I produce a 12-foot ladder and just put it across the thing?
Sure.
Okay, I pulled that out of my pocket next.
The robe of useful things. All right, so are you going to send Bob through the doorway?
yes.
All right, so...
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a 24-foot ladder. That's awkward.
It's a little longer than what we
maybe
needed.
it folds into a V, like it's a drywall ladder,
There
right?
you go.
So,
Oh, yeah, it's like one of those mini giant ladders type things. It folds in half.
Can we send the book through the door, please?
Yeah, I'm getting it now for you.
Yeah, I was just making sure you didn't want to get on the other side of the pit, but that's fine. So he's gonna go have a look. See.
So Bob moves into the room,
Hmm.
and he is able to pick up on. Oh, 1 second here. Some of this stuff I wasn't ready for. It's awesome.
Well, I didn't realize we were going to open all 3 rooms at once.
I know, it's all good.
Yes.
All right,
Everything
there
at
we
once.
go. That's fine.
Hey, the people in Twitch that they wanted all rooms opened all at one time.
All right, so Bob moves into this strange Z-shaped room with a door to the north, somewhat similar to the door that he was sent through, with a central crank handle. And then he sees to the southeast, at the bottom corner of the room, a wooden door with a wrought iron latch handle. And then he sees more of the gas-powered lanterns that line the walls and flicker and dimly light the room. And then there is a table against the wall over here with some mechanics tools and a few pipe wrenches. And then there is another door to the north that also matches the description of the one you sent him through, which is metal with a centralized turnstile crank handle.
Okay, so the door in front of me is is that just a regular door, or does that have the big crank on it?
It has a crank, but it's not an 8-spoked crank. It's just like one of those, metal rings with the turn like this. The vault door was like a big one of those cranks with 8 spokes coming out around it, and then it had the dial with the numbers in the center. So
All right,
this is not.
I'll try and open this door.
All right, so you walk forward to the door and you place your hands on the turn crank ring, and twisting it to the counterclockwise direction, the turn handle rotates freely, and the door unlatches, and it's unlocked. Are you opening the door?
Yes.
All right. So you open the door and you look into the room, standing, I'm assuming, like at the doorway, and you see Bob floating there kind of in the middle of the room. You're not able to see down into the south corner all the way, but you can just barely pick up the wooden door in the southwest corner. And then in the north of the room, you see another one of the metal doors with the turn crank. And other than the table in the far northeastern corner that has the plumber's tools on it, this is basically an all but empty room.
Okay, I'll move into the middle, and then I guess telepathically, since we're all linked, I'll say, hey guys, why don't we all try and get together and meet in this room to the right?
All right, so everyone hears Venlee's voice in
And
their
watch
mind.
out for the big hole in the ground with the spikes.
The giant fucking floor trap. Excuse me.
That'll be my turn.
All right. So, Happy, was there more that you wanted to do? Because I was trying to address you and Venlee at the same time. In addition to sending Bob through to look at the newly discovered room.
Probably a trash can, actually. Now I think about it.
That's okay. You know, we're all kind of exploring one side, so that seems fair enough. I'm not so sure about Mel going over to hang out with Harvey and a giant pile of certainly not any cursed items in a room.
I mean, no can cast detect magic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
If
the
you're
question
going
is,
to
will he?
intervene, now's the time.
Yeah. You need to
Take
stay.
Pump with you, sweetie. That's
We can always go back to that room.
Pump looks up at Happy, and he kind of nods and twists his mustache, and he goes, and then he kind of nudges you, Mel, with his turkey leg club, and then he points across the cistern in the direction of the western room with the open doorway, and at the open flickering oil lamp in the room that's now brightly illuminated with this golden shimmer.
I mean, how many times do you have multiple uses for a 10-foot pole in D&D?
Yeah, it does seem like a lot to waste.
True. It could be truly a wasted moment.
Pump, I don't think Pump was in there. I think I only could do 8 people, so that was 7 of us plus the unicorn. But I can message Pump, so I'm just going to check in with him periodically and see if he needs backup. How about that?
How far can Uni jump?
Uni, I think she has a 15-foot jump.
Okay, Uni's gonna join me in the room.
Okay.
Still invisible.
All right, so Mel and Pump, are you moving over to Harvey and Chip?
Oh, we are now, yeah.
All right, move your tokens for me.
I would be delighted to move my tokens.
I'll probably come up to here.
But, I've already used the pole once, and I don't want to hog the thing. So I'm going to hand it to Chip. Like, here you go. Here's your stick.
And as you guys would have moved across the center of the room, walking through the dried and empty dome.
Well, I was planning to walk around the outside because it's all
gotcha
in there.
Well, damn.
So he hands Chip a stick. So he hands it like this, like stick.
Yeah, it's like literally a 10-foot wooden pole.
It's a 10-foot pole.
Oh yeah, cool. So he'll take it and he'll just kind of. Because how big is this hallway? Probably not like a 10-foot hallway, right?
I mean, if you walked
positioning this 10-foot pole.
No,
but it's not just any 10-foot pole. It looks like it's been signed by Gary Gygax.
It's an exceptionally.
It was the original 10-foot pole.
So yeah, it's like instead of a Louisville Slugger, it's the Gary Gygax thumper. All right,
number 10.
Yeah, that's right. Number 10. It's the right size too, the perfect size. So you take this pole vaulter's like pole, essentially, just this long, ornate wooden maple pole that's polished and lacquered, and you stretch it forward. Are you touching the gold pile?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, caving to the pure pressure of your friends, you shrug your shoulders and you take the 10-foot pole and you tap the coins. And as the tip of the pole touches the floor,
just the tip, yeah.
Just the tip.
You just want to touch the tip of the pole to do all the gold.
Tussle it about real quick. So as you
just stir it up a little bit,
As
there's nothing in there.
That's right. As
Grab it in real quick.
As you disturb, go ahead.
It's real.
As you disturb the pile of coins, you hear a wonderful sound. As the pile of coins starts to shift, and like quicksand, it just begins.
How is that a wonderful sound?
Hold on, I'm describing it. It begins spilling down as the clatter of coins just, expands this pile of gold another 5 feet, and the pile shrinks down to about 2 feet off the ground now. And as it slips further into the room, kind of like one of those machines where you add quarters to get the rest of the quarters to spill down as the prize. Mm-hmm. Now it reveals in the floor diamond-studded goblets and precious gemstones, and 2 chests in the back corner are now revealed by the sloughing away of the top layer of golden coins.
I poke it some more. It's fake.
Chip says it's fake, but he's poking the gold pile.
I don't think it's fake.
You gotta poke it some more, mate. So
I'll start jabbing the wooden boxes.
Well, you wouldn't have enough length to reach the wooden boxes. You'd have to go into the room to do. So
I go into the room.
You'd have to get a little closer.
Jabby, jabby, jabby. Jabby, 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 jabby.
You continue to touch the coins, and it would be literally like if you took a blunt instrument and shoved it into a bag of coins. Like you just keep hearing like chink, 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 and clatter. To your astonishment, this is an actual giant ass fucking pile of treasure.
Is it really?
Yeah. Roll me an investigation check.
Chip rages and just runs into the room swinging the stick wildly.
All right. So as you go into a rage and flail the stick, about randomly, you start slinging gold and gems and goblets and precious metal, necklaces all about that just start clanging all over
around the room.
Yeah, it's just
it's fake.
Also, there is an image of a kind of anthropomorphic duck with like a top hat and an overcoat.
Oh yeah,
and like
that's
a coat,
my
sort
cousin.
of diving in and out of it.
Right, life is
a
like a
monocle.
hurricane here in Feywild. All right, yeah, no, it's legit a pile of fucking treasure.
Scrooge McDuck, right?
Big ass pile of treasure.
Yep. Scrooge McDuck.
I thought of another title for this episode, which is Subtle Are Us. That's
All right, so Harvey, are you doing anything real quick with this pile of coins before I move around to the rest of the crew?
Harvey's gonna
fill up his pockets.
Yeah, absolutely. Harvey's gonna fill up everything that he has.
I start swinging the stick at Harvey and anyone that approaches and say, "Stay back! It's all trapped.
It's all
It's fake!" And I kick
Harvey-
a goblet at him.
Harvey's what is Harvey gonna do?
Has anyone cast detect magic on the gold yet? I don't think
Well,
so.
Chip asked you for help. Chip asked you for help.
Oh boy.
Harvey's gonna be like,
Send the witches.
Send in the witch.
Harvey's gonna be like, all right, now it's obviously not a mimic, but we're gonna
What's
be.
a mimic?
careful.
I swing
Could be a
at
pile of
box.
mimics.
Okay, so
Could be a, yeah.
can I take my turn real quick?
Yeah, and Harvey, are you pocketing some of the coins?
Harvey's finishing smoking a bowl and pocketing and thinking about pocketing some coins.
All right, and then let's go ahead and move back around to Jaren and Avvina. Oh fuck.
Jaren cast Remove Curse on Avvina's hand.
All right, so Jaren, you stretch out your hand, and your hand just emblazons with black fire. And Avvina, you're caught back by this for a second as you see his hand enveloped in these black ghost flames. And you see him mutter a word under his breath, barely audible, as he says, "Revecto." And you watch as your hand, against your own will, begins to twitch and move as though it were possessed. And the skin begins to tighten, and the color of your skin returns to a rosy pink as the blood flow and the motion of your knuckles and the full range of your fingers returns back. The control of your hand is back to you. The effect of the spell wears off, and the ghostly flames disappear from Jaren's hand.
Thank you.
No problem. And then Jaren would hear all the shenanigans in the treasure room, and he would go down there and check it out.
All right, so
I
yeah, just
suppose these-
move your token when you get a chance if you want.
Would you like me
and
to wait
then-
here, Jaren?
It's up to you. I mean, you can. I'm just gonna go cast Detect Magic on it real quick.
I'm not quite interested in shiny things. So I'll just sit here.
You don't want to come join me?
So you prop up against the wall.
Sure.
Jared, step back. It's booby trapped.
Okay. I'll stay back, Chip. I'll stay back.
This lamp is.
Oh, no, you gotta look for magic and stuff, mate. Makes you
Yeah,
stop
so
Jared, it's not as it appears.
it's sewer gold. It's sewer gold, mate. We gotta make sure it's all right.
I cast Detect Magic on the gold pop.
All right, so when you go to
It's a
detect,
real solid illusion, I tell you.
when you go to
This lamp right here, and I kick it.
when you kick the lamp, it fizzles and extinguishes, but the light of the gold continues to shine.
That's fake.
So when you cast Detect Magic on the room, only two things illuminate. So one thing that you see illuminate at the bottom of the pile of gold, where it's been brushed away by Chip's footfall and his furious barbarian raged pole dancing. You see where the gold was swiped away, there is a oily black, inky, sticky footprint
No.
and it glows a faint purple. And then the other thing that's glowing is
We were wondering where that body got stashed.
the treasure. One of the treasure chests in the room, the one in the southwesternmost corner. You see glowing on the lid of the treasure chest itself a handprint that illuminates and glows red.
So I tell Harvey and Chip, I'm like, don't touch
Tommy, stop.
that treasure chest, and the rest of the gold is safe. You can pick it up.
All right, so y'all have successfully detected that this is actually gold, like your DM has told you. And although you did
It's
pick up,
not that we don't trust you, but we don't trust you.
I'm not DM Jason.
And so Jaren,
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Jaren picks up like 200 gold and stuffs it in his pocket.
Go for it. You can add 200 gold to your character sheet.
I love you, Jason.
What right-thinking DM would put gold in front of a bunch of characters and have it actually be gold? That's crazy.
Yeah. We didn't see that coming.
It's the
That's
curse
true.
of the Black Pearl. Everyone who takes it's just gonna like live a cursed life.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
It's
but
gonna
that
be
was-
more cursed than it is already.
I'm already possessed by a demon. It can't get much worse.
All right.
Hey,
3-hour tour. No.
2 hours later. All right.
okay.
So you pocket 200 gold. You can add that to your character sheet, and then real quick wrapping up. Mel, Harvey, Chip. Anything y'all want to do before I get to Venlee and Mel again? Or Venlee.
I
excuse
believe
me.
you mentioned some gems there, Mike.
The Chip pulls out an iron pot and a shovel.
What?
Are you gonna start filling? Are you filling the pot with gold?
I fill up the pot with gold. I shovel some gold into an iron pot.
All right. So here's what we're
I
gonna.
got that to hold some gold.
Here's what we're gonna do to keep this going real quick because I want to get to some other players.
Roll some gold up in my bedroll, and I'm taking it with me.
All right,
I don't
so
have
you-
a backpack.
You have a pot set down on the floor, and you roll out your bedroll, and you pull the shovel out of your pack
God,
and
my backpack can't
unfold
hold
it.
this.
And what I'm gonna have you guys do is Harvey, I need you to roll me a d12, and Thomas, I need you to roll me a d20.
Okay.
I'm
I
definitely
need
going
to-
to silent image a rainbow coming out of that pot right now.
Like. All right, hold on. What did you need me to roll again?
Harvey's,
A d20.
Harvey takes his pants off and ties like the bottom leg.
like when you're doing life saving, right?
Yeah, like we were
He's
swimming.
like Donald tucking it right
Oh
now.
my God,
Nice.
I got two.
All right.
It's 11.
All right. So, Harvey, as you peck about the room like a chicken in the roost, looking for looking for grub worms among the pile of gold, you start pecking away the gold coins. These are gold coins. I mean, gold's common, but man, these shinies. Gotta have some of these shinies. And your beak, you're able to sense the dense difference between the soft gold and the real shinies. And you managed to collect yourself 11 precious shinies. And out of game later on, between sessions, I'm going to make some rolls to determine what those 12 precious shinies are. But you can put,
Jaren.
12 precious gems and TBD, and I'll let you know what they were. Chip, with your D20 roll of a 2, you put your cook pot down from your mess kit, and you unroll your bedroll, and you take your shovel, and as you scoop around at the gold, you manage to collect 20 pounds worth of gold coins.
I don't know how much that is, but it looks good to me.
I'll do the math on that later too. There's
And then,
actually a coin weight calculator on
I'm
that.
gonna
50 coins equals 1 pound.
I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna say Chip like reaches into his backpack and he's like, we don't need to see in the dark, do we? Throws all his torches on the ground.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Jaren, if you will.
So you have 1,000. You have 1,000 gold now, Chip.
If you could find a diamond with 300 gold or
I'm
so, I
deleting
could use
8.
that.
Yeah, are there any diamonds?
Roll me an investigation check, and let me move on because we've been spending a little bit too much time with treasure. So.
You shouldn't have put a big
No,
pile.
I'm not mad. We're gonna move through this quickly so we can address it
Venlee's
again.
like, hey, come over here, and they're like,
That's all I'm gonna say is, did nobody
Can't
hear
even-
anything I said?
No, they
I did.
can't hear
I
you.
came
They're
over.
consumed with
Okay,
the
'cause that's all
shining.
I'm gonna do. I'm not going anywhere by myself.
So with your 10 on investigation, you sift through the mounds of coins, and you are able to retrieve one small diamond.
Worth 300 gold.
Yeah, we'll say that. That's fine.
Okay. I'll give it to Avvina for a little bit of high.
So, Venlee, but Avvina has come over to be with us, and I'm still over with us, and Bob is still with us. So the
And
other guy.
I'm working my way over. They asked me to cast detect magic on the
I don't
gold.
want to go anywhere without the whole party this time.
Oh,
It's
'cause
fine.
I don't know
Well-
what's in
Yeah.
here.
Harvey finished scooping up as much gold as he can carry and goes over to join Venlee. Be like, all right, hey, Venlee.
Actually, while they're still scooping stuff up, Mel completely loses interest because it's all greed over here. And when he pops up on the other side, he looks like a leprechaun and just goes, "They're always after me, Lucky Charms."
Oh my gosh.
Can Happy send Bob over with her bag of holding?
That's
Ooh,
hilarious.
getting that gold, DM. We're gonna get that gold.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay.
Let's pause with the treasure, but we'll get into it because I want to progress the story a little bit, and I won't cheat you out of it. You can put Bob there.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah, the gold is safe.
Like,
It's been in the sewer. All right. So
So
Venlee-
Jaren's gonna fly over the trap.
all right. Let me get to Venlee real quick. So Venlee, you've been waiting in this room for the rest of your party members as you lean against your staff and tap your foot impatiently.
For like an hour.
And you scratch.
We're assholes.
You scratch Uni's mane, and Uni comes out of her invisible form. And when she sees the new party members join you in the room, she leans her head forward and she goes and blows a raspberry at everybody in dissatisfaction. And Venlee, as you've been standing there, the room has gotten about 10 degrees colder as you've waited.
Yeah.
There is a ladder bridge across the trap, so everybody should be able to get across it.
Yeah. I will go. Well, is Harvey back with us yet?
Yeah, Harvey's coming back.
Yeah, Harvey. Everyone's coming in.
Okay.
I need stealthiness or Bob to go look at these other rooms.
Well,
Okay.
So Avvina can pull up the pass without a trace, or it still would be popped, I guess.
Yeah,
Every time
it's a
Harvey takes a step, it's like chink,
recast.
chink with the
But I wasn't.
So
money.
I wasn't there when Avvina cast.
Oh, I
it,
gotcha.
so I don't get it.
Gotcha.
I can just cast it again. It doesn't cost me a spell slot.
Oh, okay.
So everyone within range of her spell would now have the
Alright.
plus 10 to stealth.
Is that 30 feet?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We'll just say everybody's got it. That's fine.
Well, yeah, because I mean, me and Harvey can fly, so.
And I can fly, and Avvina can fly.
Well, I mean,
Or you
like,
can
for us
fly.
to get over that.
All right, so
that
that's a
ravine.
21,
Okay.
and I'll go. I'll take a peek down at.
I have to stay within 30
I
feet of
guess-
you, so I'll go.
I guess
with
I'll
you.
just take a peek down there.
All right. So as you move further south into this strangely shaped room and wrap around the corner, you come to another doorway. This one, as well, is a wooden door with a porthole cover like a window peephole. But as you get further south in the room, the temperature drops another 10 degrees, and you can see your breath in front of
Oh,
your
that's
face.
lovely. I guess I'll see if I can hear
I'll be right
anything
back.
inside.
All right, so you press your ear up against the door, and you get a hollow, empty sound, and just the general creak and drip of just things deep in the sewers, and you are able to hear kind of the sound of wind direction pulling underneath of the doorway, and in the distance you pick up a little bit of a flickering sound. It's like a
The hell was that?
Somebody put down a token for the vision, or an aura for their vision.
There we go. That's the Pass Without a Trace aura.
Oh wow, that's huge.
Nice.
I don't know, was it?
Okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and I did.
Give me
I
a
rolled
perception check.
19.
Oh, 19. Okay, if you're 19, you feel the hair on the back of your neck where it meets the nape of where your braid is pulled tight and wrapped with leather hair wraps begin to constrict as your scalp tightens, and you get goosebumps along your neck, your head, and your arms. The hair on your arms, the light little blonde hairs that you barely see or notice, begin to crawl and prickle, and you get an icy chill that goes from floor to head. It runs right up the back of your spine.
Ugh, I'll back away.
When you back away, I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh. It's not good.
No, it is not.
Hit the wrong thing. Damn it. Well, actually, it's not bad. It's 24.
All right. So you pass your save. Give me 1 second, because I got to do some
You don't
stuff.
have to roll damage if it's a dex damage.
From passing the save?
Yeah, I have evasion.
Okay, give me 1 second, though.
While we're waiting.
Okay, all right. So you when you back away after feeling this this cold shrivel up your spine, you push yourself away from the door, and you actually move into a denser, colder spot, and you feel this overwhelming freeze take over your body that literally knocks the breath out of you. And as you gasp, barely able to remain composed, you see ice crystals forming as your breath leaves your lips, and your lips begin to chap over where the saliva spreads and literally freeze, and you shudder as you feel a force hit you deep within your core.
Uh-oh. Am I okay?
Because of your save, you are.
Okay, I'll go back.
And because of your ability to dodge like you do.
And I'll just go, be careful of that. Be careful of that room.
So you move back in reaction to this strange sensation, and the room gets about 10 degrees warmer as you move away.
Okay.
Oh. Go ahead.
So I'll just say, hey, I'll just explain what happened. I'm sure they can take a look at me and see that my lips are now finally getting some color back and all that goodness. But there's something back there that is not good.
Want to investigate how not good it is?
Okay, it's very cold.
Well, I have a little extra heat.
I need Venlee, Avvina, and Jaren to all roll me wisdom saves.
Jaren?
Wonderful.
Yep.
Wisdom? Oh, you're within 10 feet.
Yeah, you all would get his buff for being near him.
Is this a charm
Plus
effect?
6?
No, it is not.
Plus 6?
Plus 6. I rolled
So
a
19.
32.
Nice.
19.
Wisdom, so 10, it's 20.
Okay.
Or of protection.
Nice. Okay, so the only one that fails to save is Avvina.
Awesome. Even with a 19.
Yes.
Fuck.
Number was 20.
All right, so Avvina, you're going to take 7 points of psychic damage. And
Awesome.
the three of you that were affected by this, all of you here, outside of the range and effect of Bob's ability to see and perceive, and Happy's spell of psychic bond, and Grazit's ability to communicate with others, trapped within the deepest recesses of your minds, you get a flash and a vision. You see the priest, or a priest rather, and the priest stands on top of a cement-slabbed sarcophagi. And as he stands on top of the slab, he lifts a dagger into the air and cuts his hand. And he says, Baba Yaga!
Oh, fuck me.
I pray to you! Bring this woman back to the living! And he takes his bloodied hand and slams it down onto the sarcophagi lid as he kneels in reverence and smears his blood across the name Megan Fair, which has been engraved on the vault.
I guess we know why they hang
And
the
in the episode.
You guys all want to go for 30 more minutes?
That's a good end.
I mean,
I'm good.
So real quick, I'm gonna give the diamond over to Avvina.
What's happening to me?
Well, hold on. Let me finish up the situation here. It's okay.
Yep.
So in addition to getting this like mental vision where you hear and see the priest commit this ritual, it's followed up by howling and shrieks of just endless demonic voices that assault your senses, and the presence looms closer, and as it does, you feel the room grow colder, and all three of you begin to notice that the wetness around your eyes begins to freeze.
Good end. It's a good cliffhanger.
That would be a good place to stop. But also, Pomplamoose does come up to Chip and gently relieves him of the 10-foot pole as if he's too irresponsible to.
He's like. All right. I mean, yeah. Since there's no critical role, if y'all want to go to 10:30, we can get through this room. If you want to stop game here and pick it up,
I can't
2 weeks
go
from now.
till 10:30. I have work.
Yeah, that's just a good ending right there.
Yeah, it's a super good ending.
All right, guys.
Great.
So, like I said, I'm gonna give Avvina her diamond just to get that off my.
All right. So
Am I even coherent?
as you hand this diamond over to Avvina, the two of you clearly shell shocked. The three of you look around at each other and see these ice crystals forming on your faces and around your eyes, and you reach a shivering hand forward to take the diamond, and Grazit echoes out between you, Jaren, and you, Avvina, and the two of you hear in your heads, every pretty girl deserves a diamond.
Fucking creepy. I love Grazit. Oh,
Don't like that.
We have to make that weird. All right.
All right. Let's end it.
All right, folks, we've been Old Dominion Heroes. It's our bi-weekly Thursday game of Baba Yaga's Revenge. Thanks for sticking with us in the chat, supporting us along the way. Don't forget to tune in on Monday next week for our weekly Dungeons of the Mad Mage, DM'd by our very own DM Thomas playing Chip. And also stick around every Wednesday for Vampire the Masquerade, Vegas by Night, an original story by DM Hunter. And then this Thursday coming up is our alternating game for DM Jason's Rime of the Frost Maiden. Thank you again. We've been Old Dominion Heroes. Anybody else want to say goodbye, good night, or giving out?
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.